Okay, I got a new idea for a podcast. By the way, welcome fellow students at Manhood Academy. You aren't fellow students, forget that greeting. You're just regular students. And I'm not your fellow, I'm your instructor, Professor Plum. Let's see. So, I think I read through things at times, like your expression posts and your expectation management posts, and I see things at the time and I'm like, that's a good idea. I should probably talk about that for the podcast. So I kind of write a little note and I table it for later. And sometimes I don't have all the time to cover it, or I just forget about it completely. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to create a podcast in segments this time, which is every time I see something that I think needs to be covered orally in a podcast, I'm just going to do it as immediately as possible, and then I'll just stop, and then I'll basically try to cut and paste all these sections together into one big podcast. Okay, so the latest thing that I wanted to podcast about, or remind you students about, was the EM posting guidelines, and we basically need to go over these because most of you students, I realize, are just too fucking retarded to be left on your own devices. You're here because you need somebody to give you direction, because you obviously don't have the direction to do things the right way on your own. Like if I tell you to follow the directions, just to read the rules, follow the directions, you will read them, but you're too retarded to even understand them, or you're too retarded. Your training is too problematic to even begin to follow the instructions. So we're going to look at the posting rules, and let's see what brought this on. By the way, what prompted this? What prompted this part of the podcast? Well, let's go look at one of our new students. Ajar's post. AJJR. The boy who refused to fly without being pushed off a cliff. So if you look at his last post, I left a comment that said, edit your post. See the announcement in the orientation section, which is basically a look at the EM posting guidelines. This is when we posted the EM posting guidelines. And, you know what? Maybe I think I just figured out the problem. I just tore this kid a new asshole. I said, you fucking retard. You're not following the guidelines. And the reason I was so frustrated is because so many students have made this mistake. They redo their posts, edit their posts, but they don't follow this crucial part of the EM guidelines. Let me see where it is. Okay, down at the bottom of the EM guidelines, this should probably be at the top, because people are just fucking this one up left and right. It says refrain from stating, I'm applying pain pleasure. Instead use, I'm rewarding her with a pleasure of approval, or I'm punishing her by ignoring her. So you're supposed to refrain from saying, I'm applying pleasure, and you're supposed to be more specific, and you're supposed to use the words reward and punish. How are you rewarding her? I'm rewarding her by approving of what she's doing. How am I punishing her? I'm punishing her by not talking to her, by kicking her out, by taking away this, or something. I don't know, whatever your punishment is. So you're supposed to be specific and speak in English so that we understand you. So when you're because applying pain and applying pleasure are too vague to mean anything, especially to the students who don't know what they're doing. So we thought it'd be more productive for you guys to stick to simple terms like rewarding, punishing, and to be specific with how you're doing that, so we can diagnose the problem much easier. So I made this a separate post. I attach it onto the EM guidelines, and I think let me see if I even put it in the EM guidelines, the main EM guidelines. No, I did not, but it is just as important. So this is something that needs to be followed to the letter. So AJJR hasn't been on the forum in such a long time, or hasn't posted in such a long time. I don't know if you're visiting in between your drought of posting and you just don't post for whatever reason, but you might not have seen this update, so I don't know if you actually corrected your post. Let me see if I was justified in ripping your head off. So you posted this Friday, June 10th, and it's Friday, June 10th, okay, and edited and completed. Looks like I had a nice break from posting for a while. Well, you posted this on June 10th, so I'm assuming you had a chance to read the EM posting guidelines, where they were updated on April 29th, 2011. Actually, let me see. Hold on. Wait. Let me go back. I'm going to do some detective work here. When did I first yell at you? Edit your report. See the announcement in the orientation section. That was May of '06. And this addendum to the posting guidelines was made in April. So that was before. That was about a week before. So, yep. Yeah. I just removed my soliloquy where I berated you mercilessly. I said, you fucking retard. Follow the EM posting guidelines. So now I got to repost that. I just deleted it. So now I'm just going to write a short little note instead of my post, my exciting creative post. Dear retard, read the EM posting guidelines slowly. Fix this piece of crap. Submit. Oh, God, I hate doing this, but I don't want to waste time going over the expectation management post, but it looks like that's what we're going to end up doing. Close the door here. Got too much background noise. Okay, so it looks like we're going to end up going over the EM guidelines, and we're going to end up holding everybody's hand through this experience, through this thrilling experience of learning the EM guidelines. Okay. I think I have a strange feeling that we've covered these guidelines before in a podcast, but because so many people are fucking up and not paying attention to the EM posting guidelines, we're going to do it anyway. So I don't care if you're a veteran student, and especially if you're a new student, pay fucking attention. Tune the fuck in. Put spaces between new paragraphs. You assholes that edit in other programs like Microsoft Word or in your text pad, and it looks great on your screen, there's spaces between your paragraphs. Or I don't know if you just don't care about the spaces between your paragraphs. I care about the spaces between paragraphs because I got to read a lot of shit on this forum. So I need to be able to skim quickly sometimes. So that means I need to see where a new thought is taking place. That's why you have a paragraph break, for a new thought. For some jump in continuity to a new concept that needs to be discussed, that you need to talk about. So if there's one paragraph full of bullshit that I don't need to read, I could skip to the next thought, the next relevant thought. And your EM post should be relatively free of extraneous things. You don't need to talk about the scent of the trees in the air when you're walking around at night. Get to the point, okay? So put spaces between your new paragraphs. And I'm giving examples. What kills me is I'm giving you examples of what you commonly do. Like you'll edit in a text editor, you'll press the return carriage, and you won't put that space in there, or maybe there is a space in there. I don't know how it works in various editors out there. And then you'll cut and paste it into the posting form on the forum. You'll hit enter, and then you'll just leave. You won't even bother to see if your post came out correctly. You won't even bother to look. So once you press that submit button, what is the button down at the bottom? Is it a submit button? I don't know. Whatever it is, the button that says submit your post, and it says you can now view your post or you could do something else. And a lot of you are just too impatient to view your post. You'll just click onto another part of the form. No. Stop. Click on your post again. Look at your post. Does it look correct? Are there spaces between your paragraphs? If there aren't spaces between your paragraphs, hit yourself in the nuts right now. I'll wait. We'll wait 5 seconds for everybody to look at their EM posts. If there aren't spaces, please hit yourself in the nuts right now. We'll wait. Okay. Hopefully everybody who has forgotten to put spaces between their paragraphs, they have nut injuries right now. So they will remember in the future to put your fucking spaces between your paragraphs. I think the foreigners have more trouble than the Native Americans, than the United Statesers. When I'm so frustrated, my brain doesn't even function. It doesn't think of the right words, so I invent new words. The United Statesers. The United Statesers seem to have less of a problem, but that's not to say that they don't have the same problem from time to time. So remember, put spaces between your paragraphs. There shouldn't be little tails. Oh, why are fucking people messaging me right in the middle? Right in the middle. Some chick messaging me. I'm sick. Sorry I didn't call you. I don't care, Sharon. Go away. I'm trying to run Manhood Academy. Fuck. Okay, let's see here. Next one. Next point. Bold the names of the speakers and put spaces between their names. So I have an example here of somebody writing a name, a speaker, and not bolding it. It's just difficult. It makes it that much harder for me to distinguish between who's speaking and when, the conversation is changing from you to the other person. Yes, I can figure it out, but I don't want to figure it out. I want it to be blatantly obvious right when I look at your post. This is you, this is the other person. Your name should be bolded. There should be spaces between the person, you speaking and the other person speaking. Put your fucking spaces in there. This is for the sake of me being able to quickly read it and diagnose it. I don't want to waste time figuring out who's speaking, who's saying what. I don't want to waste time figuring out when conversation starts and when you're just talking about the situation in general. Sometimes I want to skip right to the conversation. But I want to be able to diagnose what's going on in your social interaction immediately. So make it fucking possible for me to do that. Next point, add commentary in brackets that illustrate the concepts from the ebook, not from your asshole. New students are fucking retarded. Just an example, for example, Grand Theft Bitch will put parentheses, or not parentheses, he'll put the brackets in there, but he'll start, ad-libbing from off the top of his head. I don't want you to fucking ad-lib. We wrote the ebook for a reason. So you retards would have a map. Follow the fucking map. Don't ad-lib. If you have some time in the academy, you put in some time, you have done EM reports in the past, and you want to explain something more in detail or start adding some more of your analysis, okay. But do that after you've proven to me you can do that. If this is your very first report, I don't fucking want to hear any creative storytelling. I don't want to hear any stelling. I don't want to hear any creative storytelling. I don't want to hear any of your extraneous thoughts. Just follow the fucking guidelines in the ebook. That's why they're there. I took the effort to write them. Dr. Ladice took the effort to write them. Do us the courtesy of fucking following the directions, of following the guidelines that we've written in the ebook. Yeah, what am I saying? Yeah. I got thoughts mixed up in my head, sorry. So look at the ebook, look at the examples, look at the information presented in the ebook that has to do specifically with punishing and rewarding. That has to do with what? The types of pain, the descriptions of the pain. Take the time to read comprehensively to get these points down. And then when you're writing your ebook, you're writing your EM reports, start referencing the ebook. I wish High School 101 would get off his lazy fucking Indian ass and hurry up and turn in his 20-page essay that he has due so he can come back and show you how it's done correctly. Because if you look at some of the other student reports, which you should already be doing, you'll see that in a lot of cases, High School 101 is a good example of a guy who just references the ebook. He puts a section or block of the text that's relevant to his experience, that's relevant to the social interaction, and places it right in his EM report. That's what most of you should be doing. You should be referencing the section of the ebook that has to do with your EM report. So it makes it clear to the instructor, it makes it clear to the instructor what's going on, what you're learning, what you're doing, and it also benefits you, asshole. My bedside manner is beautiful. Let's see here. If I can find an example. Did I skip that already? No. I'm going to skip down to the bottom of the last point of the EM posting guidelines. Use the text area button when quoting from the ebook. So, for example, if you're talking about your authority, you're going to quote a section from the ebook. You're going to hit that text edit button. You're going to copy and paste that text from the ebook that you're reading and put it right in your EM report. Do that. Okay, back up to where we left off. So, bolding the speaker's names. Add commentary in brackets that illustrates concepts from the ebook, not you, not from the top of your head, not from your imagination. Stick to the point. Grand Theft Bitch. I don't want to hear about what you think the chick is thinking. If she's meekly meeting your expectation, if she's weakly stating her expectation, if she's now trying to beg for your approval that shows she thinks you have authority. I don't care about all that fucking extraneous explanation. Stick to the fucking guidelines. After after you've demonstrated competence, after you've demonstrated you can hand in an EM report that is by the book, that is by the textbook that we've written, then maybe you can add some more analysis that shows you matured in your understanding. But prior to that, especially if you're a new student, follow the fucking directions. This shows you have a grasp of the material. I want to understand that you have a grasp of what's going on in your social interaction. I don't fucking care about you trying to impress me. So many of your reports are based on impressing people. This is part of your problem. This is part of why you are fucking retards in social interaction to begin with. You're so busy trying to meet the other person's expectations when you don't even know what they are. You're imagining what my expectations are by giving me all this fucking extraneous information that I don't want. It shows you haven't taken the time to examine what my expectations are and how to meet them. You don't know how to meet them. You're all over the fucking place. You're just like, you're doing what cops do when they pull you over for speeding. They add kidnapping. They add dangerous signaling. They add, they add resisting arrest. They add every single charge in the book to see what sticks. I don't want you to be like an irresponsible cop. I want you to be a responsible cop. I want you to look at the exact offense being committed, and I want you to address that offense, and that's it. Nothing else. Nothing more, nothing less. So in your social interaction posts, in your EM reports, I want you to speak about specifically if somebody is saying, hey, get me a hamburger. That is an expectation. So I want you to say, here, so-and-so is stating their expectation. I don't want you to say, here, so-and-so is stating their expectation because they're trying to please me and they're worried about what I'm thinking, blah, blah, blah. I don't fucking care about that. Stick to the fucking guidelines. You're making me want to shoot myself in the head. Okay. Next point. Be sure to list the type of pain or pleasure you're punishing or rewarding her with. So if you're punishing her by disapproving of her actions, state that. Say, I'm punishing her by showing my disapproval of her flaking on me. Or I'm punishing her by ignoring her. I'm punishing her by not showing her attention. Be specific with how you're punishing her. Look at the types of pain we have listed in the ebook. They're there for that purpose. So you know specifically what's going on. Do you understand why we're making you do this? So that when you're forced to do this the correct way, you'll understand, oh, here I am, I'm a fucking asshole. I'm trying to justify my expectation right here. Oh, but if I didn't follow the fucking EM posting guidelines, I wouldn't know that. My head would still be up my ass. Yes, exactly. That is the point. That is why we're forcing you to do it the right way. Because if you're forced to do it the right way, then you'll start seeing when you're in the middle of diagnosing your EM report, maybe while you're in the interaction itself, because you're a new student, you don't know what the fuck is going on. You're just kind of reacting according to your bad training. You're like, she said this, I said this, and you don't know what the fuck is going on. Later, when you start recording it in the forum, and you're forced to go back to the textbook and examine, okay, what's happening here, what's happening here, what's happening here. Ah! The light bulb goes on. Click. Now I know where I fucked up. But guess what? If you're a complete asshole, and you keep doing it your way, you're never going to figure that out. Follow the fucking rules. I know you're so used to breaking the rules by watching X-Men and going, look, we need to break the rules. We need to be cool. Well, this is not the forum to be cool, all right? This is the forum to follow the fucking rules. Out in society, there's rules that you should follow and a lot of extraneous bullshit. That's why they say don't follow the rules. That's why they make those stupid commercials. Come on, bro, it's time to break the rules. Be cool, break the rules. Wear your hat backwards. Be different, be cool. Alright, you want to be fucking special, go out in society and do that. In this forum, we actually care about the rules we make. They are for a purpose. We're not just making bullshit rules, extraneous rules, just to make your life difficult. These rules are designed to help you. I know when an officer pulling you over says, look, I gave you this ticket for going 55 in a 54 section because I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to make you feel safe. That's just a bullshit PR excuse, right? That's just him covering his ass. So if you try to sue him, he's saying, oh, look, I gave you that ticket because it's for safety. It's not for fucking safety. And we both know that based on common sense. There are definite instances where tickets are valid, but there's also a lot of instances where you're doing something and somebody in authority will give you the default, the catch-all, I'm doing this for your safety. I'm doing this for your safety. I'm doing this for your safety. when really it's just a bullshit excuse. It's just a convenient way to alleviate having to be responsible for explaining to you the real reason or the reason you don't want to hear, for telling you the truth of why they are punishing you. Here, we don't pull the punches. Here we realize the problem, the reason why you're not able to get your expectations met is because you are fucking steeped in this bullshit approach to social interaction. You are trained to give people a diplomatic answer. You are trained to give them the bullshit answer. You are trained to avoid stating your expectations directly. Here we don't do that. Here we train you to do just the opposite, to be clear with your expectations, so that you're able to get your expectations met. You'll see that, out there in society, they'll tell you, look, you got to do it the diplomatic way. If you just stroke people's cocks while you're talking to them, you'll get it done your way and you'll be much happier. That's bullshit, and you've already found that out. You already know that advice is bullshit. We're here to show you that, look, you're going to tell people things they don't want to hear sometimes. Maybe a lot of times. But over the long run, once you start enforcing your expectations the right way, people are going to start respecting you. They're going to start fearing your authority. Once they fear your authority, guess what? They've laid the groundwork, or you've laid the groundwork for allowing them to love you, to like you, to appreciate you, to want to be around you, to want to hang out with you, to want to socialize with you. Notice, okay, take me for instance. I would be considered the tough drill instructor, the bad guy. Whatever you want to call it, right? The guy who is not taking bullshit in his forum, and is laying down the law, right? And sometimes I don't do that in the most tender way. This isn't even real pain. I'm not backhanding you physically. I'm just typing words on a screen and you're taking them how you take them. But yes, I realize that I am typing words in a very harsh arrangement at times that says, look, you're a fucking asshole. Follow the fucking directions, right? I'm using fuck. I'm being emphatic. But as much as I have corrected you students, think of how you think of me. I know, because I understand social interaction, I understand the principles of social interaction, I'm not second guessing myself and going, oh, everybody hates me. Everybody hates me. I'm so mean to everybody. I need to be nice to people. Everybody hates me because I'm enforcing my expectation. Everybody hates me. No, I know how social interaction principles work. That's why I know, as harsh as I'm being, I'm also meeting your needs. I'm meeting your need for order. I'm improving your life. And I'm also giving you pleasurable information, pleasurable socialization, pleasurable stimulation. I'm showing you how to socialize and to get people to meet your expectations, to make you happy. So when you go out with that correction and you do it the right way and you get a pleasurable response from people, you'll remember, oh, Plum taught me how to do that. Oh, Plum kicked my ass to make me do it the right way. Oh, Plum showed me how to socialize with people to get a positive response from them, to get them to meet my needs, my sexual needs, my psychological needs, my spiritual needs, my whatever needs, right? Plum taught me how to do that. I love Plum now. Yes. I realize that it's a love-hate relationship. On one hand, you hate that I'm disciplining you. You hate that I'm correcting you. But on the other hand, you love the effect of this discipline. You love the effect of the information we're giving you. You love the order we're creating in your life. So both things are necessary. Do you see, but both things are necessary here? My correction and also my loving, kind, tender, pleasurable stimulation. Both are necessary. Now in this forum, we are emphasizing the punishment side because a lot of you guys are fucking up. A lot of you guys are dysfunctional because you don't have that punishment. But once you go out there with that correction, you need to realize in the real world, a lot of you are missing the other element, which is the pleasurable stimulation. Dionysus is a prime example of that. A club kid. Yeah, comrade, I'm going out to the club tonight to talk to bitches. Remember, comrade, when you go out there, if you don't stimulate the girl, she has no reason, no incentive to meet your expectations. Bitch, come home with me. Bitch, you are beautiful. Give me your fucking number, bitch. Not very likely. Not a lot of stimulation given to that stranger. Is it possible she'll give you the number? Yes. Is your authority attractive because you're stating your expectations directly? You're not being apologetic? You're leading the interaction? Yes, that is all attractive to a woman. But It's usually not enough to get that number. Usually not enough to get her to call back, even if she does give you the number. And that's why it's so crucial for you guys to learn about creating social circles, because a lot of things, a lot of your contacting with people, being invited to parties, socializing with friends who know girls, etc., will bring you in contact with women. That's through your social circles, through your classes, through your work, through your friends, etc. So you need to learn how to develop those social circles, because that development with those friends is crucial. It translates into socializing with women, which a lot of you, that's your goal, to get a girlfriend, to get a wife, etc. So to do that, you have to learn how to socialize normally with other people. The two are connected. They are the same thing. Those of you who keep thinking as separate entities, like there's socializing for getting a girlfriend, there's socializing at work, there's socializing with friends. If you put these all in separate categories, you don't understand social interaction. They're all one and the same. That's why I keep telling you to develop your social practice starts when you wake up. Everything you do with another person, every interaction you have is social interaction practice, is making you competent, or is reinforcing your bad habits and making you more incompetent. One or the other is taking place. Learn this. So when you go out there, you guys got to remember, yes, you need to say no to people when they're being dysfunctional or they're violating your expectations. But you also need to have you need to give those people a pleasurable incentive. You need to learn to develop your expression. The expression section is there for you. The students on the other forum, you should be socializing with the other students. You should be talking to them as often as possible, sending the PMs, talking to them in the chat room, getting their numbers or contact information so you can bro chat out. If you want to learn about bro chatting on Skype or anything of that nature, talk to Mindboggler. He's a pro at bro chatting. But that's why his social experience is so good at the academy, because he takes an active hand in contacting students and getting to know them. That is your social practice. This is your social circle. We've given you lazy fucks a free social circle. This academy is a free resource. Consider this. If you just read this book, we just put this book out there online, didn't have this forum, and you didn't have students to talk to, it would be that much more of a Mount Everest uphill climb for you guys to learn how to socialize. But there are students here. You have a chat room. I am fucking paying money to have this chat room up. I could just have the forum up and not have the chat room, but I'm paying extra fucking money. This chat room is free for 10 people, but I know there's other visitors that want to visit and see what's going on in the forum. They read your chats, whether you realize it or not. And there's let's see, there's Plum, there's Bogler, there's Dionysus, and Death by Porn in there, and 4 other viewers. Those viewers are reading the chat room, what's going on in the chat room. So I've opened the capacity up to allow for 50 people, right? I'm paying for the 50 people tier in this chat room. So I'm paying to keep this chat room practice open. Take fucking advantage of it. Don't waste my fucking money. Use the chat room. There should be clicks at all hours. I should be so fucking annoyed with the chat room that I have to click the little mute button down there so I don't hear the clicks. If you're waiting for chat to happen, you're a fucking retard. You're doing it wrong. If your name is in the chat room, you should be on the forum or in another window doing something else. But if you're just staring, waiting for somebody to chat, and you just keep checking the chat room, I hope somebody chats. I hope somebody chats. Oh, I hope somebody chats. I want to chat. I want to talk to somebody. I'm lonely. You're a fucking idiot. Start chatting. Take the initiative. The chat room is to learn to take the initiative. Go back. Go back to beep, opening forum, beep. Go back. Go back. Go back to the honing your expression section. Go to the chat room, the very first post up top, and click on it. Oh, there's a ton of chat room rules. Oh, there's guidelines. What are they there for? They're to help me socialize. Yes, asshole, they're there for you. You want to end up like this gunner? You want to be hardcore as this motherfucker? Look at this guy. What? Embedding disabled by request. Oh, I fucking hate this cocksucker YouTube when it does that. I'm trying to make an important point, and YouTube is cock blocking me. I gotta fucking upload this video myself. I've learned an important lesson from YouTube. When I embed a video in our forum from YouTube, I know that these fucking assholes will turn off their embedding feature. They'll fucking pull down the video. They'll do some fucking thing to fuck up the forum experience of having the videos in there, the point of having the videos. So I'll download those videos and post them in another, on another account, or I'll request that somebody else download those videos, a reliable person. We have people out there that'll download the videos and host them for us on their YouTube account, and then we'll link to them, because we know they're going to fucking keep their account up, and they're not going to fucking disable embedding like this cocksucker. So now I have to go back and find this video. Fuck, one of my favorite videos. Full Metal Jacket video guy. Okay, so that one's not there. Let me see if I can find another video on here. No, the first video, this one's going to take too long. I'm not going to play it, but you should enjoy it. Maybe I should actually post this one. Let me see which video this is. Video not found or access denied. I forgot I changed the location on this video. None of you assholes bother, none of you new students bother to click on the chat room video and say, oh, hey, Plum, I see this video isn't working. I'm a new student and I want to have the chat room experience, but the video isn't working. I paid for the forum experience and yet I'm not able to get that forum experience because this video isn't working. None of you bothered to fucking click on the video and find out. That is disappointing, especially for new students. You should be clicking on all these posts, especially all new students. Click on the sticky posts. Click on the sticky posts. Every sticky post in the forum you should read. I made them sticky for a reason. I know other forums don't give a fuck and they're like, oh, I love cats, so this is going to be a sticky post. And so now when you click on that post, you're like, I hate cats. I'm never reading a sticky post again because this is the sticky post that cried wolf. I thought the sticky post was going to be interesting. It's not. I was fooled. I'm never going to be fooled again. So if I visit another forum, I'm never going to click on their sticky post. Well, fuck that. Our sticky posts are all important. That's the only reason they're stickies. And it's disappointing. It's depressing when you students don't click on these fucking videos that are there for you. Access denied. I moved the fucking video. You should have told me. One of you should have said, hey, I want access. I want to see this video. Why is it posted here? Why can't I see it? Nobody bothered to tell me. You assholes. I understand this is part of being a new student. You're used to being led around by the hand. In some sense, I do have to lead you around by the hand because you aren't confident enough yet to lead others around. So I have to show you how to lead other people. So it's a difficult balancing experience. On one hand, the problem is you've been led around all your life. So you're like an incompetent little infant. You can't do anything. So on one hand, I don't want to hold your hand. But on the other hand, you have such poor social interaction training that you need to be led. You need to be led to the water in order to drink it. Oh, Lordy, 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 Lordy. All right, so I'm supposed to be working on the ebook right now. I can't believe we're going over the EM fucking posting guidelines. Okay. Award. So be specific with your types of pain and pleasure. Next point. Point out every instance of justifying yourself and say whether it's appropriate or not. The ebook covers when you should justify yourself. Should you justify yourself? I'm actually going to fucking make a quiz. I'm not even going to answer that. The ebook answers that question. So I'm going to make a quiz about that. Next point. By the way, justifying yourself is such a crucial topic that you should not neglect it. Just because I'm skipping it and saving it for a quiz doesn't mean you should neglect it. You should read up on that. So crucial to diagnosing your social interaction failures. If you look at your social interaction failures, 80% of them are going to involve problems with justifying yourself. Okay. State only the relevant facts. Observation, commentary. We covered that. Okay. Avoid editorializing. Stick to making observations. I don't want to hear your opinions. Your opinions are irrelevant to me because you're a fucking new guy who knows nothing. Stick to observations. Yes, some of you have life experience. Great. I don't care. Show me that you can make a competent EM report first. Then you can add in your life experience. Demonstrate competence first. This means avoid trying to read her mind, avoid second-guessing her real intentions, avoid predicting future results, etc. Check your grammar, asshole. Most of you assholes don't check your grammar. You're just like me. You're like Professor Plum. You click it, submit it, and go on. You know what I hate more than anything else? Rereading a post and seeing a grammatical error in there. The word left out. That's usually it. I usually leave out a word. I'm like, fuck, I'm such an idiot. Go back and put that word in. If you read one of my posts and there's some grammatical error, just say grammar error, and I'll read the whole fucking post and find it and fix it. Yes, things like commas missing. The more intricate grammar errors that, it's like optional almost in some cases. I'm going to let those slide. Misspellings, I could live with misspellings. But just where you're missing a word, or your long, huge run-on sentence that doesn't make sense if you read it out loud, that's just fucking laziness. For you people that are terrible at grammar, Read everything you post out loud, and I'm not fucking exaggerating or kidding. Read every fucking word out loud. You will catch a lot of your errors because you'll read the sentence and you'll go, I was talking to Kathy, who was at the cat shop. I like her. She is cool. That is Kathy. And there's no period. You will catch the error when you're reading it out loud because it'll sound all choppy and disjointed. When you're talking to somebody, you're forced to kind of sound intelligent to some extent. So when you're forced to say, I met Kathy, we went to the pet shop, right? You'll know where the periods go because you'll think, wait, maybe I shouldn't say that all as one big gigantic sentence. I would sound like a fucking retard in person if I announced this sentence out loud. That is the point of reading out loud. So if you're a fucking retard, a chronic fucking retard with poor grammar, read it out loud. At the very least, you'll put periods at in between all these fucking 5-mile long run-on sentences. Do that. You'll also catch where you left out words. A lot of these errors are just basic errors. I'm not talking about advanced fucking gerund participle pronoun agreement problems. I'm talking about basic fucking errors where you just leave out a word. It doesn't make sense. I real being here with you. It doesn't even make sense. I really like being here with you. Right? You've left something out. That's a basic grammar error. I don't care about these advanced, level 20 grammar errors. I care about the basic grammar errors that make your sentence comprehensible. When I'm reading it, I may not like the structure of it, but as long as it makes sense, that's what I care about. Don't leave out words. Fix your fucking grammar. Whew. Okay. Also, there's a grammar post. There's a link to it. Read it. If you've had a grammar issue, read the fucking link. Start brushing up on your grammar. Become competent at your written expression. You're going to have to text and email and write to girls sometimes. You're going to have to text and email and write to your boss, to other people. Fix your fucking grammar. Use the text area button when quoting from the ebook. Covered. Covered. The last point. I think we've covered it. Did we cover it? This is the one I am losing my patience over. Refrain from stating, I am applying pleasure. Instead, use, I am rewarding. You assholes that keep making this mistake. What is your problem? The problem is I've not punched you in the face. That is the problem. I can only yell at you. I can only give you painful essays. I can't really give you the pain I really want to give you. Do not write, I am applying pleasure, because you don't even fucking know what that means yet. Stick to, I am rewarding, or I am punishing her. The example states, I am punishing her by ignoring her, or I am rewarding her with a pleasure of approval. I am rewarding her by giving her my approval. Because you guys are assholes, I'm even going to remove this part where it says your pleasure. Or it says, I'm going to change the example so you guys have less of an excuse. I am rewarding her by showing my approval. I'm rewarding her by showing my approval. And I'm making the example even more to the point. So I've taken out the word pleasure entirely. Refrain from using the term pleasure and pain. How about that? Yeah, I'm going to edit and I'm going to say, avoid using the term pleasure and pain if possible. X. Avoid using the term pleasure and pain if possible. If possible. I don't mean all over the form, I just mean in your EM reports. So I'm going to say bold this point here, and I'm going to put it in huge. Avoid using the term pleasure and pain. Avoid using the term, subject-verb agreement, avoid using the terms, plural, pleasure and pain. Avoid using the terms pleasure and pain. Avoid using the terms pleasure and pain in your reports. I think that will cover it. Okay, that's all for now. As I said, I will try and this is going to be a segmented podcast because I'm going to basically stop whenever I see a problem or an issue I want to cover, and I will start podcasting on that issue. And then at the end, I will just cut and paste all these little segmented podcasts together into one gigantic podcast, and we'll see if that works. So that's it. I can't even sign off. I want to sign off and say, thank you for joining us, students, but I have another section to add on, so I'm just going to stop. Let's cover Zyga's recent EM post. Now, if I remember correctly, Zyga, let's see here. Zyga is having an issue with people or customers at work not respecting his expectations. And since he doesn't explicitly state the work situation, I'm just gonna make up a situation, but I'm gonna try and address it according to how I'm gonna try to address it according to the problems you guys would normally be experiencing in this type of situation. So I'm gonna give you like the typical emasculated guy scenario. Okay, so let's say you have a customer coming in and they're saying, okay, so let's just cover his problem specifically. He's saying this customer is repeating herself more times than he's happy with. So obviously his expectation is that his information is going to be respected. When he says something, it's going to be respected. That customer should take that information and go, oh, this person, I value what they're saying. I value this information, so I'm not going to repeat myself. Obviously, if this customer is willing to repeat herself, she doesn't care what he's saying. So he's not enforcing his expectations. And it also sounds like he's just not, in general, making his expectations known. So I guess we really don't need to cover how he would handle it. Let's cover how, let's say, somebody who is managing their expectations properly would handle it. And again, this is at his work, so he's got to watch out that he doesn't get fired. So he can't just, he has a vested interest in, I don't want to say being diplomatic, but he's not trying to burn bridges here. He's not trying to tell the other customer, well, you're not meeting my expectations, so fuck off. He's got to do business with these customers. And, you know, people out in the world are largely dysfunctional, and they're also part of your, you're going to be doing daily business with them. Imagine you students, imagine my expectations with you students, and if I kept my ridiculously high expectations with you guys, after 2 posts, I would just be telling you to fuck off. Don't come back to the forum, right? But I realize you guys don't have the training to meet my expectations. I have high expectations that you guys can't meet. For instance, you guys don't know how to read the ebook. Oh, this killed me. Normally, or ideally, I would like to slap you guys. I would like to inflict some type of painful punishment upon you so that you would learn to respect my expectation, which is to read the ebook and not post stupid, fucking retarded nonsense when you're trying to make an EM post. For example, I'll give you an example here. Just the recent one I was correcting was Vic's post. Okay, so let's see here. Vic's post, Vic's experience. Okay, so Vic is posting about, let's see, page 2. It's on page 2 of his EM post. Okay, so he's making a post here about some girl, I believe it is, that he's talking to at a club, and he bumps into her, and I guess he spills a drink on her, and he wants her to apologize. So he makes an EM report, and he says something like, let's see, what did I quote here? Okay, so he bumps into her, he says, oh, are you okay? And she says, no, I'm not okay. And immediately, there's nothing here in brackets that talks about this situation. So obviously, this is a concept from the ebook. Whenever 2 people meet and are talking, what happens? Well, if you read the ebook, you would know that there are expectations always present. Whenever 2 people have a social interaction, whether you realize it or not, whether you know it or not, there are expectations on the table. So to know this, you would have to read the ebook. So there should not be any conversation when you're talking to somebody and there's no expectation. So right here, right off the bat, he says, are you okay? Why is he asking, are you okay? He could ask himself that and go, oh, because of this reason. Obviously, there's an expectation there, but he doesn't indicate that. So this is frustrating for me. As a person who is managing his expectations, I would need to slap Vic in the face. I would need to say, Vic, hold on a second. Let me smack you in your face. That was painful. Why did I do that? Because you're not meeting my expectation. You should be reading the fucking ebook, not posting like a retard, are you okay, and just leaving it blank. That's unacceptable. That shows you don't know what the fuck is going on. And that's part of why you don't know how to manage your expectations. That's partly why you fuck up. Because you don't follow directions. If you're not following my directions, you can't even diagnose the problem. You don't even know there's an expectation on the table. That's why I have you write it so you'll realize it. But if you skip that all-important step, how can you ever figure out what's going on? You remain fucking retarded. So this is part of the problem. not properly labeling your expectation management posts. Okay, so she says, no, I'm not okay. Does she have an expectation? Of course she has an expectation. What is she saying? What does it mean when she says, no, I'm not okay? Obviously, something negative is going on. So she's saying no. She's disagreeing. You know that if you read the ebook. She's disapproving. I'm not okay. She's saying something is not right here. So if you went to the section on pain, or I should say, types of pain, I think, where it talks about, disapproval, disagreement, etc., there are some choices there. I'm not trying to make 50 different choices for you to look at various types of pain, but at least I'm trying to list some basic elements of inflicting pain, of punishing someone, so that you could recognize those basic elements that occur over and over and over again in your social interactions. And then if you see, oh, this person is disapproving of what I'm saying. I've seen that concept before in the ebook. Disapproval. I know what's going on. I pulled my head out of my ass. Vic, you have not pulled your head out of your ass because there's no descriptor here. There's no examination of what's going on here. It's not done properly. Her, did you do that on purpose? What is she implying? What is she saying? If you read the ebook, you realize there's something that talks about guilt. There's what is it? Begging, pleading, complaining, guilting, whining. I forget. I haven't read the ebook in a while. I'm working on that section right now. Ironic. So I don't need to worry about it because I'm the instructor. I already know how to get my expectations met, but you better fucking worry about it because you're a student. You're learning how to get your expectations met. Pull your fucking head out. Did you do that on purpose? What's she trying to do? She's trying to make you feel guilty about what you did. She's trying to guilt you. She's trying to get you to meet her expectations. So if you put in brackets next to this statement or question, rhetorical question, oh, here, see, she's trying to punish me by using guilt. So passive aggressive, whatever. You don't even have to say passive aggressive, at least say guilt. Identify it. See, I'm trying to do, I realize you guys are so fucking retarded that I'm trying to give you the bare minimum of work. I'm not trying to say, look, fully examine this, write a full paragraph on this. I'm just saying, look, fucking use the terms from the ebook. I wrote them there for a purpose. They're to help you, not to help me. Use them to identify what's going on. I mean, it's better even if you're so retarded you can't even get out a full sentence and you just wrote guilting. I would still tell you to redo it, but at the very least, that's a step in the right direction. You're at least taking a stab. You're at least trying. I'm going to credit you for trying. I'm not going to credit you for being a lazy fucking retard and not doing anything. So you can see here, this is part of my expectation is that you read the ebook. So a lot of you are writing EM reports and just like winging it, or reading the ebook and thinking, I don't care about what's in the ebook. Plum just wants something that's sort of like the ebook, but it's my version. No, I don't give a fuck about what you write. That is the problem. Nobody cares about what you write. Don't you get it? You fucking retards. Nobody cares about what you write. If you were writing your own ebook and it was working, you wouldn't be in the fucking academy in the first place. Do you realize that? That's why it's crucial for you to unfuck yourselves by reading the ebook, by identifying things and using the ebook. It's there to help you. It's the cheat sheet. Oh. Ay, caramba. Okay. So as you can see, the emotion in my voice, I'm getting frustrated. This is what Zyga is experiencing. So he's starting to realize it. He's not fully realizing it. Otherwise, he'd be like, why am I doing this? I'm not doing something. I'm not enforcing my expectation. That's why I'm getting frustrated. Here in the forum, I'm prevented from enforcing my expectation, if you haven't noticed. I can't kick you in the nuts. I can't hit you in the face with a shovel. I can just yell at you in a podcast or type in super nifty capital letters. Don't do that. Wrong. Do it over, right? These are minimal forms of pain at best, minimal punishments, which some of you think, because you're so delusional and dysfunctional, you make mountains out of molehills. Plum's yelling at me, Plum's screaming at me. You can't even hear my voice 90% of the time. You're just seeing typing on a screen. So most of that is your own emotional emphasis on the words. Do you realize that? That's how pitiful my punishments are in the forum. I'm relying on you to inflict them for me. You have to be able to comprehensively read and go, oh, Plum's angry here, or Plum's saying something here, or Plum's criticizing me here, or Plum's something here. Plum is trying to punish me in some form. So it really depends on you. This punishment is depending upon you. It's really an improper punishment. That's why I'm frustrated. And that's also, if you haven't noticed, why a lot of you retards are repeating the same mistakes or not even solving your mistakes the first time. Like I'll say redo something and you'll leave it exactly the same way and post it again, and it drives me nuts, right? So again, this is from not being able to enforce my expectations on the forum. But in real life, in your own social interactions, you have much more control over them. Now imagine here, I'm able to get my expectations met on a forum, barely being able to give you a proper punishment. This isn't even typing words on a screen, not even a proper punishment, right? But I'm still able to get my expectations met. So if I can get my expectations met with you students just by typing stupid words on a screen and, by talking to you on the podcast, at the very least, you could do the minimum amount required in person to try to get your expectations met. Now I realize this is a difficult thing for a lot of people because it is brand new to them. Their training, their emasculation has taken years and years of social conditioning to get in that state in the first place. So yes, I understand it's difficult, but you can try to do certain things that the ebook points out to get your expectations met, to help you get your expectations met in real life. So that really involves enforcing your expectations, which means punishing dysfunctional behavior. Even if a lot of you aren't even aware that you're dysfunctional and that the other person is also dysfunctional. So it's two dysfunctional people trying to get their expectations met. Yes, we'd ideally like to stress doing it in a functional manner, but you guys are going to make mistakes along the way. That's a given. And don't get lost in going, is my expectation functional or dysfunctional? Is their expectation functional or dysfunctional? You guys neurotically will worry about that for hours and forget to do anything, forget to enforce any of your expectations. So yes, it's a given that some of your expectations, maybe a lot of your expectations, are going to be dysfunctional in the beginning. But don't let that paralyze you from practicing enforcing your expectations. So, going back to Zyger's example, this lady's coming in and let's say she's repeating things over and over. So, I need a for instance. I hate thinking up for instances. For instance, so let's say she is ordering a pizza and Zyger is a pizza flipper. He's flipping his Pizza Hut pizza. I'm not sure what pizza they have in Canada, but let's just pretend it's Pizza Hut up there. He's flipping his pizza and she comes in and orders a pizza and she says, I want thick crust. And Zyger says, well, we only have thin crust. Our Pizza Hut only serves thin crust. And so she says, look, okay, make sure you give me thick crust, and also I want bacon and jalapeno peppers and anchovies on it. And Zyger says, ma'am, we only have thin crust we only serve thin crust at our Pizza Hut here. She says, young man, please give me thick crust and don't forget the anchovies. What's the problem? The problem is Zyger, instead of enforcing his expectation, is humoring her by justifying his expectation to her. He keeps explaining, ma'am, we only have thin crust. Ma'am, we only have thin crust. Ma'am, I think you're a reasonable person, so I'm going to keep explaining my position to you over and over and over again, and eventually you'll get it. Well, Zyger has probably read the ebook, but it hasn't soaked in yet that people, especially women, are like children. You can tell if children are paying attention when you tell them something. If you have to repeat yourself more than once, that means they're not paying attention. That means they're not disciplined. Women are especially not disciplined in this day and age right now because so many men, Zyger included, are complete pussies and they don't enforce their expectations. That's the problem. So, what does Zyger need to do? Does he need to come up with a better explanation? Ma'am, I said that we are only serving thin crust. Pizza Hut, our corporate management, gives us direct orders that says our crust has to be exactly 1/4 of an inch high. What is she going to say? Oh, that sounds like a much more complex and amazing explanation. I'm going to listen now. I'm going to grow up all of a sudden just because you gave me that great explanation. No, she's going to ask for, what is she asking for? Thick crust? Young man, I would like thick crust, and also I would like a brownie with my order. What is she doing? Well, because Zyger has not punished her with something painful, she doesn't give a flying fuck about his explanations. She doesn't give a flying fuck about his justifications. She's like every other woman out there, every other feminist out there, every other child out there who has never been disciplined. Undisciplined people will not listen to you. Do you realize this? Obviously not, because if you're frustrated, it means that you're not enforcing your expectations. On this forum, I already realize why I'm frustrated, because I'm not able to enforce my expectations with you students the way I would ideally like to. But you guys in person can enforce your expectations. You can play an active hand in lifting that frustration you feel with not getting your expectations met. If you are dealing with people and you think, oh, fuck, I gotta deal with that person again, or, oh, fuck, I can't stand dealing with people, or, oh, fuck, I can't stand dealing with this particular person. Oh, fuck, this customer again, they come in every time and they always give me a hard time. Oh, fuck. If that is your mindset, this means you've already prepared yourself to fail. This means you've already prepared yourself to fuck yourself over. You realize if you're going, oh, this is going to be so frustrating. Oh, I hate this. This means what you're essentially saying is, I'm going to not care about my expectations yet again. I'm just going to repeat myself over and over again and frustrate myself. I'm going to keep repeating what I expect and never enforce it. And this is going to cause my pot to boil over, and I'm just going to be so frustrated and angry at the end of the day. I'm going to open fire on everybody eventually. I'm just going to snap one day. That is exactly what you're telling yourself. I'm trying to help you alleviate your future career as a serial killer. I'm trying to help you not become the next George Sodini. This means learning how to enforce your expectations. Yes, this feels painful. It will be a painful experience for you and for the customer, and for the other person involved in your social interaction. It'll be painful for you because it'll feel uncomfortable because you're such a pussy. You've never done it before in your life. It will be painful. It will be uncomfortable for you. It will feel awkward for you. But it will result in a more satisfying social interaction. And guess what? The people you interact with who you think you're totally offending and you think will hate your guts and will try and write it against you will actually respect you, will actually listen to you, will actually want to talk to you. Do you realize that? No, you don't. If you realize that, you'd be doing it already. The reason why I'm able to confront you guys, why I'm able to punish you guys, is because I realize when you guys unfuck yourselves, when Vic unfucks himself and learns how to read, when Zyger unfucks himself and learns how to enforce his expectations, they become more enjoyable people to be around. They're going to thank me and go, oh, I learned that from Plum. That's why I like Plum. He meets my need for order. He helps me in my social interactions. He helps my social interactions improve. So when I see this big picture, I realize, this spanking is going to be helpful for them. It's going to benefit them in the future. That's why I give it to you, out of necessity. Now, I'm not thinking, oh, gosh, I hope Zyga doesn't hate me in the morning. I hope Vic doesn't hate me in the morning. Well, I am thinking that, but on the other hand, the more powerful consideration is always, do they need this or not? If the answer is yes, even though I don't like giving it, I don't like inflicting pain, I don't like having that person angry with me, I always think, do they need it or not? Is it necessary for enforcing my expectation? If the answer is yes, you get it, whether I like it or not. That is listening to the principle, listening to my discipline versus listening to my emotions. Because I know down the road, if I were to go, let me see if I can be buddy-buddy with everybody, let me see if I can get everybody just to like me and do everything everybody wants, none of you would be helped. You would be in the exact same place, in the exact same predicament you're in with your social interactions today. The inept guy, the guy who can't get anything done, the guy who can't get anybody to like him. Because, ironically, you're so busy trying to get people to like you by doing everything they want, instead of doing what they need you to do. When you can do what people need you to do for them, not what they just desire. Like, if you, as we always use the chocolate cake analogy, if you give that kid chocolate cake just because he desires chocolate cake, you're a fucking fool. You need to give that kid what he needs, not just what he wants. Sometimes the wants and the needs coincide, great. But many times they don't. Always focus on the need. Once you meet the need, attraction. With guys, with girls. Guys like hanging out with you. Girls are attracted to you. But the bottom line is you have to meet the need. So, in this case, what is the need? The need is an orderly social interaction. Obviously, this old lady is dysfunctional because she is not respecting Zyga's authority. Why is she not respecting Zyga's authority? Because Zyga hasn't given a fuck about enforcing his expectations. He has virtually no authority in this case. She doesn't fear anything he says. That's why she doesn't listen to it. If a cop was telling her, ma'am, shut the fuck up, or I'm going to hit you with my billy club, or ma'am, shut the fuck up, or I'm going to taser you, you bet your fucking ass she's going to listen the first time. She's not going to repeat herself 3 times because she fears the cop's authority. Zyger is not a cop. He is a pizza flipper. He needs to act like a cop and enforce his expectation the first time around. So, how would he do this? Without, again, she's a customer. She's going to be dysfunctional as fuck. So we can't just tell her, hey, customer, fuck off and never come back because he loses all her money. Now, in some cases, some extreme cases, I'm saying extreme, there are going to be people who are so dysfunctional, they will come in with dirty diapers and shit in their pants, and you'll think, should I serve them a pizza or should I tell them to get the fuck out of my restaurant and never come back? Well, maybe some guy with dirty diapers you don't ever want to deal with again. You don't care about him being a repeat customer, so you're going to draw a line and say, look, don't ever fucking come in this establishment with shitty pants. Instead, in fact, don't ever come in again. Go away, or I'm calling the cops. You're enforcing your expectation because you care about the sanity, or the sanity? No, not the sanity. The sanitation of your restaurant. So, there somebody has crossed one of your extreme core expectations. No shitty pants in my restaurant, right? But this lady isn't crossing a huge expectation line. So, we have to think, we have to weigh how much of this is going to cost me. We want to be pound wise, not penny wise, right? We don't want to be penny wise and pound foolish. We want to be pound wise. We want to think big picture. So if this is something, she comes in and drops $100 bill every time, we might want to overlook her dysfunction. But we got to think, at what cost are we overlooking this dysfunction? Again, if this is causing so much frustration in your life that you can't deal with things and you're about to snap, it's not worth it. I don't care if it's $100 or $1,000. Your well-being is more important than her money. Your job, your well-being is more important than your job. So if your job is contributing to your well-being, it's giving you income so you can live and you can eat and all that. So of course it's important that you pay attention to your job and you respect the customers even though they're dysfunctional. Same with you students. I have to respect that you're dysfunctional. You're coming in here disorderly. You can't follow directions. I tell you to read the ebook. I know I'm going to have to repeat myself because I know a lot of you are retarded and won't listen to me the first time. You're used to getting away with it because nobody's ever enforced their expectations with you. I'm one of the first people that's actively enforcing my expectations with you. I realize this is a new experience for you. So, you see, I have to deal with you just like you have to deal with customers. You have to realize they're dysfunctional. So, to some degree, you're going to have to accommodate dysfunction. So, this customer is dysfunctional, is asking you to repeat yourself. So, instead of telling her, look, get the fuck out, I'm going to say things one time. If you don't like it, get the fuck out. No. I'm going to be somewhat diplomatic, but I'm still going to enforce my expectation because this isn't, again, she's not dropping $100. I'm going to assume she's not dropping $100 bill. Maybe she's a once-a-month customer. I can afford to lose her. I'm not trying to lose her. I'm not trying to burn bridges here. You understand. The reason why I'm enforcing an expectation is not to create enemies. No, it's just the opposite. I'm trying to build a stronger relationship. So especially with this customer, if she's respecting my authority, that means she fears my authority. I'm not creating fear to generate terror. I'm creating fear so that she respects my expectations and she meets my expectations and we have a better interaction over a long-term period. I'm not trying to enforce my expectations so that she'll hate me, so that there'll be animosity, so that she'll resent me. No, that is not the point of enforcing my expectations. This is what you have to realize. That's why when I'm correcting you, I'm not doing it to go, I wouldn't get anything out of humiliating you just to humiliate you, right? If I say, you're a fucking idiot, you don't get the ebook, you don't pay attention, you're a fucking idiot. If I just said that and left it at that, and I was just trying to humiliate, I can't even say the word, I gotta slow down. I was just trying to humiliate you. What possibly would I gain out of that? Well, if I'm just humiliating you just for the sake of, getting some sick enjoyment out of you feeling stupid or you feeling so terrible and you feeling like a total dunce in class, you would leave class. If I wasn't trying to help you, I was just trying to make fun of you, mock you, ridicule you, you would leave class. I would lose your $10 a month, right? You would hate me. You would go post a review and say, Plum's such a fucking asshole. He just humiliated me in front of the class and that was it. He didn't help me at all. He just was having fun at my expense, right? So there would be these repercussions that would visit me. But now I am saying, look, don't be a fucking retard. Read the ebook. Why am I saying that? Am I saying that to humiliate you? No, you may feel humiliated. You may feel terrible. You may feel bad. You may feel awkward. But that's part of the painful experience to get you to meet my expectations. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with you quitting the academy, if that's the case. I'm fine with you feeling bad about not meeting my expectations. But the reason I'm fine with it, you feeling bad, is because I'm hoping it prompts you to meet my expectations. What happens when you meet my expectations? Do I win a trophy? No. Guess who wins the trophy? You do, fuckface. You get the better social interactions, not me. I already know how to manage my social interactions. You don't. You get the benefit. Yes, you get the benefit. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm correcting you, so that you get the benefit, not me, you. At the most, I get a $10 benefit, which I can use to go buy things, right? But experience-wise, life-wise, you get the benefit, right? If your social interactions improve, maybe over a grand global scale, the world will improve around me, yes. But more practically speaking, I won't feel that benefit because you're maybe in another country, and that benefit won't reach me for a long time. That ripple effect won't reach me, but directly in your life, you're going to experience it firsthand. What it's like to get your expectations met, what it's like for women to be attracted to you, what it's like for guys to want to hang out with you. You're going to experience that firsthand. You're going to reap that benefit. So it's in your best interest to realize that when you're enforcing your expectations, you're doing it to benefit both people, both parties. Do you realize not only you get the benefit, the other person who is corrected gets the benefit? That is if you're enforcing a functional expectation, right? So, for instance, this lady, she's making her repeat herself. So she's saying, Sonny, I want thick crust, not thin crust, right? You say, ma'am, we only serve thin crust, right? That's the first time you're letting her know this is your expectation. I only serve thin crust. And she says, now, I would like a brownie, and I would also like thick crust with anchovies and olives. So obviously that's showing that she's ignoring your expectation. She doesn't fear your authority. Right there, that lets me know. If she's just talking over me, not even acknowledging that I said we only have thin crust, obviously she's not paying attention to me, which means she doesn't fear my authority. What does that tell me? It tells me somebody's not respecting my expectation. I need to enforce my expectation. This, over time, will become an automatic response. I don't think about it like that. I don't go, this person is disrespecting my expectation. I need to enforce right now. It's automatic. It's like, I care about my expectations, so I enforce my expectations as a natural consequence of caring about my expectations. The more you value your contribution to other people, your contribution to society, your contribution to the social interaction, the more you realize you're necessary. Like if you realize you're, the president of your company, you realize a lot of people are depending on you to do your job. And if you don't do your job properly, your company can't succeed, your employees can't get paid, your customers can't get their products. This all depends on you. You realize as the president of your company, I'm an integral part of this company. Without me, it can't function properly. So I need to do my job. That's how I look at it when I'm enforcing my expectations. I realize, look, I know better than this person. Whenever I'm in a social interaction, it's almost, I can't think of any time where I go, this person, I better adopt this person's expectations because they know better than me. No. I had an active hand in writing the ebook along with Dr. Ladice, so I'm one of those people that realize my expectations are more important than your expectations because I know what I'm doing. I know what's going to contribute to a fun, healthy, enjoyable, beneficial social interaction that's going to benefit both of us, not just you, not just me. Ultimately, if I'm benefiting just me, or you're just the only one that reaps a benefit, you really aren't just benefiting, you're actually hurting yourself. Or if I'm just the only one that benefits, I'm actually hurting myself. For instance, if I'm the person getting the chocolate cake, and I'm just making, I'm just whining, pouting, throwing tantrums until you give me chocolate cake, and you have to spend all your money, you have to experience all this frustration, but I get the benefit, I say, look, I'm the one getting the chocolate cake. And you give me the chocolate cake, you're bending to my expectation, you're meeting it. On one hand, it seems like I'm the only one that's benefiting. But if, in a social interaction, if only one person is benefiting, we know that expectation is automatically dysfunctional. If the other person isn't benefiting, expectation is dysfunctional. So, if I'm the only one getting chocolate cake, it seems like a good thing. It seems like I'm benefiting, right? Wrong, because we know what's going to happen to me over time if I keep getting that chocolate cake. I'm fucked. I'm fucking myself over. So you realize that if only one person is getting their expectation met, if that lady is the only one getting her expectation met by ignoring you, she seems like she's winning, but in the big picture, she's losing. And you're losing. Do you realize that? You're either both winning or you're both losing. If she is getting her expectation met and you aren't, or I should say if she's getting her needs met, she wouldn't be getting her needs met. Your needs are mutual. If she's getting her want met, her dysfunctional want, dysfunctional desire met, and you're not getting your need met, it means that nobody's needs are getting met. It means that everybody's becoming more dysfunctional, more disorderly. It means that both of you over the long run are getting fucked. Do you understand how important it is to enforce your expectations? It means both of your needs are getting met. It's mutual. Needs are mutual by design, by nature. If you're meeting your needs, eventually the other person in your relationship, their needs will get met too. Because their needs are your needs. Needs become mutual in a relationship. I don't care if it's a friendship, it's a working relationship, it's a romantic relationship, it's a peer relationship, it's a student-teacher relationship, whatever relationship it is. If your needs are getting met, it means the other person's needs are getting met. If you're saying, I'm the only one getting my needs met, you're really not getting your needs met. It means you're getting some dysfunctional desire met. Because again, needs are universal. Getting needs met means everybody's needs are getting met. Now, I know you're saying, on the superficial scale, let's say I get a drink of water. There's a cup of water, we're both starving of thirst, and I drink the cup of water. Yes, in a sense, I am the one getting my physical thirst need met. But in the grand scheme of things, I require socialization. That's a need. So if I kill you off by taking all the water, eventually we're both fucked because you die and I have no one to socialize with, so that my social needs don't get met and I die as a result. Big picture. So ultimately, you got to see that needs are universal and needs are interconnected. You have to get all your needs met. You can't just get one need met. Do you realize that? You have to get all your needs met. You can't just get your thirst need met. You have to also get your food need met. If you just have water and you go, look, I'm getting my water need met, or you're just getting oxygen. Look, I'm getting my breathing need met, but I'm not getting my food need met. You're going to die anyway. Yes, you might be alive for a day or two or a week or two, but ultimately you have to get all your needs met. Do you realize that? All your needs are necessary. This means your physical needs, psychological, spiritual, whatever needs you have that are needs, social interaction, socializing. That need is just as important as eating. Do you realize that? Your needs all must be met. If you're not meeting all your needs, it doesn't matter if you're just getting food and water and oxygen. That's irrelevant. There are people that do that already that get cabin fever. They isolate themselves in a cabin. They have enough food. They have enough water. They have enough oxygen. They're getting all their physical needs met, yet they snap and go crazy. Why? Why are they suffering? Because their psychological needs aren't being met. They aren't having companionship. They aren't having social interaction. So every need is equally important. Yes, some are more immediate. It's more immediate that you get oxygen before you get water. It's more immediate you get water before you get food. It's more immediate you get food before you socialize. But guess what? Big picture, grand scale, all those needs have to be met. All those needs are mutual. All those needs cohere with each other. All those needs are equally important. If you don't address one of those needs, it's like ignoring all of your needs. All those needs must be met. And if all those needs are getting met, guess what? The other person's needs are getting met because your needs are mutual with other people. Whoever you're in a relationship with, your needs become mutual. Don't forget that. Okay, so where was I? So this lady is ignoring you. This is such a long process just to go through one thing with this lady. This chick is annoying. Okay, so grandma is saying, son, I want the thick crust pizza. And she's not listening to you. And you say, ma'am, we only have thin crust pizza. So now I need to enforce my expectation because she's speaking over me, not listening to me, ignoring me, not even acknowledging my expectation. So it tells me, aha, she doesn't fear my authority. Therefore, what do I need to do to cause fear? I need to inflict some pain, which means I need to punish her in some way. Obviously, I can't punch her in the face. That'd be the easy solution. Ma'am, I need to punch you in the face so you will fear my authority. No, you cannot punch her in the face. In the good old days, you'd be able to just reach across and backhand her. Ma'am, shut the fuck up. I have to backhand you right now so you'll pay attention. Yes, in the good old days we could do that, but these aren't the good old days. So, we have to apply some psychological pain, We have to punish her. We have to disapprove of her expectation. We have to do something. She requires our attention, so we can also actively ignore her, right? We can ignore what she says. So in this situation where she's not listening to me, I would completely ignore what she said. Say, ma'am, listen to me. You're not listening to me. By saying you're not listening to me, what am I doing? I'm pointing the finger at her dysfunctional behavior. I'm describing her dysfunctional behavior. I'm exposing her dysfunctional behavior. I'm disapproving of her dysfunctional behavior. So I'm identifying it first. I'm saying, ma'am, you're not listening to me. When you ignore me like that, you're not listening to me. That shows you're not respecting me. I'm telling you we only have thin crust, but you're ignoring me and you keep ordering thick crust. If you want your pizza made the right way, don't ignore me. I can't help you if you're going to ignore me. So do you see how I'm identifying her dysfunctional behavior, the specific dysfunctional behavior, the thing that's bothering me, the thing that is pissing me off? That's how you know your expectation is violated. You just identify what is pissing you off. It's an easy shortcut. Instead of going, what is my expectation? How is it being violated? Just think, what is pissing me off? Her ignoring me. That's the thing I need to voice. Shortcut, right? All these things it seems like, these things are so easy and so elementary, but really the practice, the tough part is overcoming your conditioning, your pussified mangina conditioning, which says just accommodate everything, accommodate every dysfunction, explain yourself 1 billion times to people, right? Just swallow the, grit your teeth and bear it, right? Just swallow it, take it like a man. Well, in this case, you need to deal it out like a man. You need to deal out some punishment like a man. Which means you need to say, what is bothering you? Well, the bothering part is that she is ignoring me. That is the violation. So I go, what's bothering me? That's the shortcut. Ma'am, you are ignoring me. I don't like it when you ignore me, right? I am disapproving of her dysfunctional behavior. That is applying pain. That is applying the psychological pain that is required to enforce my expectation. I most certainly am not ignoring you. I didn't mean to ignore you. Right? She's going to do something. Either she's going to try and justify her expectation, make excuses for it, or try and point the finger back at your behavior. Again, described in the ebook, right? Pointing the finger. Where are we pointing the finger? We're only pointing at 2 places. Either the finger's pointing at your behavior or her behavior. Check and see who is defending their expectation. Who is the finger being pointed at? We need to enforce our expectations, so that means our finger needs to be pointed at her dysfunctional behavior, right? So we need to point it back. She's going, but you're being rude to me, young man. What do I need to do? Do I need to go, I didn't mean to be rude, but I'm just trying to explain that you're not? No. Again, if I say, I didn't mean to be rude, that means I'm pointing the finger back at my behavior. Because now I'm trying to justify myself to meet her expectation of not being rude. No, I want to just ignore that completely and turn the finger back at her behavior. So she says, you're being so rude to me. I don't even want to acknowledge that. I want to point the finger at her dysfunctional behavior. Ma'am, when you ignore me, that causes a problem. Then it makes it that much more difficult to get your order. I want to help you. I want to get your order. But you keep ignoring what I'm saying. That doesn't help. You need to listen to what I'm saying. Do you see how I'm, again, pointing the finger back at her dysfunctional behavior? This is painful when I'm disapproving of it. I'm saying, no, that's wrong, that's bad. That's what I'm implying, either implicitly or explicitly. Either I'm implying it or saying it directly. Either I'm saying, look, man, when you're doing this, it makes it difficult to get your order done. That's implying that behavior is dysfunctional. Or I could say, ma'am, see how you're ignoring me? I don't like that. That's rude. You could even say that's rude behavior. When you're ignoring me, that's rude. I told you. I would like to give you thin crust pizza, but we don't do that here. Don't ignore me. That's rude. I'm trying to help you. Do you see? I'm pointing my finger at her dysfunctional behavior. And again, I am taking care to acknowledge her dysfunction by not going, fuck off, right? If this was Plum, Professor Plum was running this pizza shop and he didn't care who the fuck, how many customers he lost in one day. He would say, look, ma'am, we only serve thick crust. So I would like, ma'am, we only serve thin crust. So I would like thick crust and anchovies. You stupid cunt. Did you hear what the fuck I just told you? Are you fucking retarded? I just told you we only have thick crust. Right? If I didn't care about my customer, right? I didn't care about losing my job or getting fired, creating good customer relations, right? So here I'm applying a whole shitload of pain, right? Trying to embarrass her, humiliate her, ridicule her, all kinds of dysfunctional pain to burn the bridge, right? Get the fuck out. Do it my way or get the fuck out. That is one way of doing it. That's not the best way, but that's one way of doing it. Or I can, again, very simply just point to the behavior that I don't like. Ma'am, you're ignoring me. I don't like this when you're ignoring me because it prevents me from getting your order. So I can, again, attach all these negative associations, show how this bad behavior is affecting our relationship, right? It's not allowing me to get your pizza. So I'm doing everything in my power to make this pain focused, and at the same time, I'm trying to avoid ridicule, humiliation. So again, this may feel, she may feel indignant. She may feel self-righteously indignant, like, oh my God, how dare you speak to me that way, young man? But again, this is because she's not acknowledging her dysfunctional behavior. So again, I would have to, apply more pain. That means I'm not applying enough pain. If she's not acknowledging that, she's not trying to justify her behavior to me yet, she's trying to point the finger back at me, that means I'm not applying enough pain. So again, I need to reinforce my punishment by, again, acknowledging that behavior. Ma'am, you're ignoring me. And not even, again, I'm ignoring her expectation, right? She's telling me I'm being rude. I'm applying pain, which is ignoring. I'm punishing her by ignoring her expectation. I don't even acknowledge it, and I go right back to saying, ma'am, when you ignore me, that makes it difficult for me to get your order. I want to help you and get your order done, but when you're going to be rude, again, pointing the finger at her dysfunctional behavior, disapproving of it, calling it rude, when you're rude, that prevents me from doing my job. I want to help you. Here, now I'm applying pleasure. I want to meet your order. I want you to be happy. I want you to get the pizza you want. So I'm showing her, look, here's the orderly situation I'm going to create. Remember, when we're disproving of somebody else's expectation, we always want to introduce a functional expectation that shows the right way to do it. Because if we just say, no, don't do this, there's a billion things we could say, no, don't do this to, right? We could say, no, don't stab yourself in the eye. No, don't hit yourself in the stomach. No, don't slap yourself in the face, right? There's a billion things you could do to hurt yourself. But there's only one functional thing we want you to do. Look, I want you to eat with your fork, right? I could say, no, don't put spaghetti up your nose. No, don't pour milk in your ear. No, don't stab yourself in the face with a fork. But if I never say, yes, this is what you need to do. Yes, you need to take that fork and twirl it around the spaghetti and put it in your mouth. That's how you eat properly. If people don't have that roadmap for functional behavior, they don't know what to do to meet your expectations. That's why you need to say, look, ma'am, don't ignore me. When you ignore me, I can't get your order. It prevents me from filling your order. I want to help you. So when I tell you we don't have thick crust, you need to say, oh, and then you either need to pick thin crust or you need to get something other than a pizza. So those are your options. So I want you to either say, okay, I want this or that. So you're leading her. By giving her your expectation, you're letting her know what you expect her to do in place of what you don't want her to do. Do you understand how that's important? Don't just tell people what you don't want them to do. Tell them what you want them to do. Lead them. This is part of your responsibility as a man. This is part of exercising your authority. You can't just say, I don't like this. You have to say, I want you to do this. This is how I want you to do it. Lead them. Make them meet your expectation. Tell them what your expectation is and tell them how to fulfill it, how to meet it. That is being a responsible person in your social interactions. Thank you. How are your social interactions at Manhood Academy? By this I mean, how are you developing your Manhood Academy student relationships, your peer relationships, your teacher-student relationship with me, with Professor Plum, with your instructors? How is that developing? What are you doing to foster that relationship? What are you doing to foster those peer relationships with the other students? Are you taking an active hand to direct those relationships? If you aren't, you're missing the entire point of training. You're missing the entire point of using this academy as a resource. If you view this academy as a library, you are missing the point of the academy. The book is already a library of knowledge. You don't need to have the academy if you're just looking for a static library, a lifeless library that just transfers information to you. This is, why are people messaging me in the middle of an important podcast, no less? Hang on. Manhood Academy is more than a library. It's full of students. It's full of instructors. No, it's not full of instructors. It has 2 instructors and other helpful students who have been in this program longer than you have. But it's full of students. It's full of dynamic people that can give you real-time responses. Or you can make a post and they can give you a response back, which is close to real-time. But the point is, they are giving you actual personal feedback. This is the basis of social interactions. Exchanging, reciprocation. You give something, they give something back. You're trying to supply their need. They are, in turn, if their need is getting met, they're going to try and supply your need. So you're creating a mutual relationship. If you're not doing anything to foster that, you are failing at social interaction right off the bat. Before you even leave your house, you're already failing at social interaction. Because, as many of you obviously don't realize, social interaction begins when you wake up in the morning, and it ends only when you're asleep, when you're not conscious anymore. Let me say that again. Social interaction begins when you wake up in the morning, and then it stops when you're asleep at night, when you're dreaming dreams about Manhood Academy and finally graduating. You need to realize this. You need to have this perspective in order to realize that social interaction is your entire life. It's not one section of your life. Social interaction is really a means. It's not a goal. To do everything in life, you have to learn how to socialize with other people. This is just a means. It's just like having a bicycle, or a car, or legs to move around. It's just a mode of transportation to get from point A to point B. If you think that you can only move 2 hours out of the day, and the rest of those days you're on, or the rest of the time you're stuck on your back, not being able to move, you're missing out on a great part of your life. You need to realize that social interaction is an integral part of your life. It's like eating every day. Eating is just a normal part of your life. If you're not eating throughout the day, your life is abnormal. If you're not drinking some liquid throughout the day, your life is abnormal. If you're not breathing oxygen throughout the day, your life is abnormal. It will suffer. The same with social interaction. You're a social person. You are designed to develop social relationships to help your life, to define your life. Your life is not lived in a bubble, you versus the world. That is a popular sentiment created by people who don't know how to socialize, who have failed at socialization, who have given up on socialization. It's fuck the world. It's me against the world. It's the world against them. Yes, there are problems that develop when your needs aren't met. Like, let's say your food need isn't being met. There's going to be food riots. There's going to be killings over foods. There's going to be murders. There's going to be homicides. It's going to be 187, 187 on an undercover cop. No, not rapping. It's if your needs aren't being met, it's going to create problems for everybody in your life. Everybody will be affected. So, just like your food needs need to be met, your social needs also need to be met. If your social needs aren't met, you're going to start saying, fuck the world. The world's a cruel and terrible place. Well, if your needs aren't being met, you will turn into a cruel and terrible person. If your food needs aren't being met, you're going to become desperate. You're going to become ravenous. You're going to behave in an irrational manner. You're going to cause problems for the people around you. In fact, you're going to start fighting for their food, and it's going to cause problems with your relationships. Your focus will be on food, while their focus will be on other things, their job, their career, their friends, relationships, etc. Well, you'll be focused solely on food because your need isn't being met. You're being deprived. So your behavior is going to become abnormal. This is what happens when your needs aren't met. This is what happens when guys don't get their social needs met. So you need to take an active hand in getting your needs met. Part of that is realizing that social interaction occurs at all points, all times of the day. When you're in the academy, when you're in the chat room, when you're just browsing on the forum. That is an opportunity to practice socializing, to create posts, to talk to students in the chat room, to take advantage of the resources here. The people here are the resources. If you're not taking advantage of the resources, you're failing at social interaction. This is one of the easiest places to learn how to foster relationships. If you can foster relationships on a a forum that's static, that doesn't give you an immediate answer. You make a post. It may take you a minute or an hour or a day or a week to respond to that post, but you're going to get an answer. So if you can, and you have time to craft your answer. You have time to arrange it, to write it, to edit it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it also has the advantage where you can edit it so that it doesn't sound like you're just some retarded homeless guy speaking nonsense. But you can create a well-crafted thought. Even if it's not well-crafted, don't let it stop you from posting something to try and get your needs met, to try and formulate relationships here on the forum with the other students, with your peers. This is the perfect opportunity to do that. Because not only are you guys all on the same page, I'm forcing this to happen. I'm forcing the socialization element here. In society, you're not going to have this crutch. You're not going to have Professor Plum saying, you need to socialize. You need to do this. You need to take an active hand. What's going to happen in society is when you go out there and if you aren't socializing, nobody's going to give a fuck. They're just not going to socialize with you. They're just going to cut you off. They're not going to meet your needs. So I'm teaching you how to take an active hand in getting your needs met. I'm teaching you how to become a farmer and grow your own food. I'm teaching you how to grow your own crops. If you don't know how to grow your own crops in the real world, they're going to just let you starve. Nobody's just going to go, here, have my crops. I did all the work. I did all the effort. I did all the plowing of the soil. I raised the seeds. I watered them. But just here, have them for free. No. They're going to expect you to know how to do that, to contribute to their community, to their farming community. This is Farmville on a grand scale. Farmville analogy. So the point is, you're going to have to learn how to create relationships in the real world. And this forum is a perfect place to start because students also have that same goal in mind. They're trying to learn how to provide pleasurable incentives to other people on the forum so that they can get their needs met, right? They're trying to provide Professor Plum with a pleasurable incentive so they can get their social training needs met. What are they doing? Well, a lot of what they're doing is violating my expectations, right? I have certain posting expectations. I expect posts posted a certain way, so it meets a bare standard, a bare minimum standard that we can all uniformly agree upon so we can repost, understand them. They're quickly comprehensible to new students, right? That's the point of having these standards, these rules on the forum. And also, these rules are designed to benefit you. When you're able to identify elements of your social interactions, like in the EM posting guidelines, you can quickly diagnose your social problems. So these rules are designed to benefit you. So once you meet my rules, that means you're providing me with a pleasurable incentive to socialize with you. Do you realize that? When you do what I ask, I'm happy. I get happy. You meet my expectations, you meet my needs, I'm happy. Our relationship blossoms. When you don't meet my needs, our relationship falters. Your dysfunctional behavior affects our student-teacher relationship. The same goes with the peers. When you provide your peers with pleasurable incentives, they want to help you. They want to interact with you. They want to become your quote-quote friends. They want to socialize with you. You realize you can develop a relationship with students here who are just as fucking retarded at socializing as you are, but who are learning alongside you how to become competent socially. You can develop strong relationships with these people, and some of you have already. Bogler's developed some great relationships with students on this forum. Other students, Boak and Zeiger getting together and practicing their social interaction, that's great. They're doing it offline, that's great. How much more so online? You guys have each other as resources. You should be taking an active hand. You guys should be helping guys like Filbert, the guy with the balls on his chin t-shirt. We call him balls on chin. You should be helping guys like AJJR or guys who just post once in a blue moon, once a year. These guys, you should be taking an active role. You students have more experience. You should be taking an active hand in encouraging them to post or rewarding them when they do post, getting them to post. Do you realize when you reward somebody, you give them a pleasurable experience, they want to interact with you again? Do you realize that? Obviously you don't. If you did, you'd start giving more pleasurable experiences. You'd start leaving more comments on people's posts. You'd realize that when you create a podcast like Professor Plum is doing, when you create an ebook like Professor Plum and Dr. Ladice have done, when you post responses, when you give people a forum to share their mutual experiences and mutual failures, when you give vent to their social interaction problems, when you sympathize with them, when you empathize with them, when you help them, when you give them resources, when you give them ways to meet their social needs, you give them a pleasurable incentive to keep coming back and keep wanting to interact with you. You're becoming an attractive person who can meet needs. People want to socialize with you. This is the first step. Manhood Academy is the very first step. This is the first place You should be going to practice your social relationships, to practice developing your social relationships. Forget about picking up girls for now. Start working with your immediate peers. This will translate into picking up girls. If you can give enough incentive to guys, to strangers on a forum that you've never met, to students you've never met before, and you can get them to want to socialize with you, you can attract a woman. It's the exact same principle. Giving people a pleasurable incentive to interact with you. Take an active hand. Practice initiating these relationships, which means there are going to be super shy guys on here, new students who are going to feel like the new student in class. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. You guys are all bros. You guys are all tight together. You guys are all social. You guys all know what's going on in the program. I don't know what to do. Wrong. Other guys are just as retarded as you. It's just that they're better at hiding it. If you're here, I already consider you a failure. Stop trying to pretend you're not a failure. Just accept the fact that you're a failure, and let's work on your social competence. Again, part of working on your social competence is taking the initiative. Your social competence is not going to be improved by creating perfect posts, by trying to remove every single error from your posts before you post them. It will not happen. If you were competent, you would realize that that's not possible. You're not going to learn how to play football without dropping the ball a lot of times, without screwing up the play a lot of times. That is part of the learning process. That is to be expected. You will be scolded along the way. That is to be expected. That is to remove all the problems in your football play. You will be encouraged along the way. You will be rewarded. You will score a touchdown. That is also to be expected. Yes, success is to be expected. This is a normal part of developing your social skills. I'm trying to blending analogies here, sorry. But the point is, you're learning right now the trial and error process. The good thing is you have a map here. You have a social interaction map. We tell you exactly what you need to be doing. You will fuck up at that. Don't worry about that. That's to be expected. I will try to rip your head off. That is also to be expected. But you will come through and you will become socially competent. That is also an expectation that you should have. If you don't have it right now. Write it down. So from this point forward, you should be going to Manhood Academy every time you visit the site and think, aha, this is an opportunity to socialize with the other students, with the instructors, with whatever. I should start asking questions. Do you realize a lot of these podcasts, I just see bits and slices of conversations that really should be posted in the forum that you have where you ask your stupid questions in the chat room. You abuse the chat room function. You don't read the chat room post, or you fucking completely forget the chat room post, and you think the chat room is for whining. You think the chat room is for sharing all your problems, when you should be using the chat room to practice expressing things, to give people incentive to want to talk to you. You fail to do this. But by the same token, through your failures in the chat room, I get to see bits and pieces of how you guys are failing, and now I have the necessary material to develop a podcast to answer some of your problems, some of your questions, to address how you guys are screwing up and to fix it. But if I wasn't reading the chat room, if I didn't catch you guys fucking up in the chat room so often, I wouldn't be able to have this podcast because I wouldn't know what to talk about, where you guys are at. I've covered so many things in social interaction, I don't know where to start. So I want to start where the problem is, where the immediate problems are. One of the immediate problems is you guys are abusing Manhood Academy in that you're not using it for its intended purpose. Read the fucking chat room post. I want to slap some of you faggots so hard because you continually abuse the chat room function. The chat room is not there to go, well, what do I do about this problem? What's this? That's this. Yes, that's great. I want you to ask questions of other students in the chat room. I want you to present problems or to whine a little bit in the chat room about your situation so other students can chime in. That's great. But that should not be your focus. And for a lot of you, it is your focus. You're lazy fucking faggots. You just go in the chat room and go, here's my problem, solve it. You lazy fucking slug. Knock that shit off. Go read the chat room post. Figure out what the chat room is for. I've already figured it out for you. You don't even have to fucking figure. You just have to follow the directions. Practice creating an incentive for people to want to talk to you. Not to fucking drive them off with your problems. Not to fucking drive them off with your whining. That is not the point of the chat room. Use the chat room. If you want to fucking whine, guess what? You have a whole fucking forum to do that. You can do that on the forum. Yes, you can. You can make those same mistakes in the forum where all the students have access to your question, to your concern. They can all have a chance to answer it. Do you realize if you chat and there's only 3 people in the chat room and that chat, your question or concern scrolls up the screen, no other fucking student in the academy can read it. You dumb fuck. Do you realize that? Of course you don't fucking realize that. That's why you're stupidly posting this stuff in the chat room instead of sharing it on the forum. Instead of asking your question on the forum. Use the fucking chat room for what it's intended. Take advantage of the resources of the students in this forum, of the instructors in this forum. You fucking paid to be here. Get your fucking money's worth. Use the chat room for what it's intended to... why am I repeating myself? You get the point. I hope you get the point. I know some of you, the point has just gone in one ear and out the other, but hopefully we'll beat it into you. The beauty of repetition. This is repetition. This is training. Learning it, reading it over and over, absorbing it by osmosis. Eventually, you will get it. Okay, so, sorry, I took a little break there to read a little text message. Use the students, use the forum for its intended purpose. Initiate social interactions on the forum. Talk to students. Talk about their posts. Respond to things you liked or didn't like about their posts. Respond. This is such a crucial step in developing a social relationship. Is responding. Is sharing your experience. How their post affected you. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? These things drive social interaction. These things give people incentive to interact with you in the future. If you are a passive fucking fag, that's how you came in here. You don't want to stay that way. Respond to posts. Respond to every fucking post you see on here. I'd rather have you over-respond than under-respond. Yes, I love it when you give a textbook answer or when you answer with your head out of your ass. That is great. But if you're like lighter than air and 80% of your posts are fucking nonsense and I have to move them into the academic probation section or I have to just delete them because they're so nauseating, that's better than never posting at all. I appreciate guys like him who are willing to fuck up in order to develop their social interaction. That should be your attitude. Your attitude should be, I don't care. I paid for the course or I'm on scholarship. You guys on scholarship, you need to fucking bust your ass. Some of you guys want to kick the fuck out of here because you're not busting your ass. You're getting a free ride at Manhood Academy. That is even more incentive for you to fucking get on the ball and start developing your social interactions, at the very least here at the Academy. There's no excuse. I know there's strangers out in the world, and there are hot girls with big tits who scare you, and you don't want to interact with them, and there are new guys you don't want to make friends with at school or at your job. Great. I can understand there are excuses for that, but there's no excuse here at Manhood Academy for failing to develop social relationships with your peers, with your fellow students. There's no fucking excuse, especially if you're on scholarship. And if you're on scholarship, get the fuck off your ass and start responding to posts. Start sharing your experiences with your fellow students. Start encouraging others to post. In fact, you don't even need to say, good job, here's a high five, here's a pat on the back. You just respond to posts, and that will be incentive enough for other people to start responding to your posts or to start responding in general. Do you realize this is how you shape your social interactions? This is how I shape my social interactions. If I don't like something, do you realize I make a post about it, or I create a podcast, I do something to actively shape my social interactions here at Manhood Academy? Sometimes I don't like when students start talking out of their ass. They haven't learned anything out of the ebook, and yet they start giving advice to fellow students. I don't like that, so I'll step in and say something about it. Why am I doing this? Because I want my social interactions to be enjoyable. I don't want new students to get bad advice and to fuck up down the road and regret coming here or regret listening to their fellow students. I don't want that experience to happen. So guess what? I'm not just going to sit back passively and say, well, it doesn't affect me. No. This is social interaction. Everybody affects everybody. What the instructors do, what the new students do, what the old students do, what everybody does out in the world. Everybody affects everybody. There's no such thing as an isolated social interaction. There's no such thing as an isolated social interaction. When you sit there and you beat off the porn, your non-participation affects everybody at the Academy. Maybe not in a direct way, but certainly in an indirect way. If less people post, people will think, oh, maybe I should be posting. Or, oh, it's not a good idea to post. I don't see as many people posting. If everybody is posting but you, guess what? You'll think, Oh, fuck, maybe I should start posting. Oh, I'm feeling social pressure to post. Everybody's posting something but not me. I should start participating. I'm feeling pressure to participate. Great, you should fucking feel pressure to participate. That's part of what social interaction is. It's social pressure. It's pressure to do good things and pressure to not do bad things. You realize there's pressure on you right now to not shoot somebody? There are laws. There are people warning you that bullying is bad for you and, other kinds of bullshit like that. But there are social pressure. There are social cues telling you this is what you should be doing and this is what you shouldn't be doing at all times. And you will not do certain things right now because there is this social pressure you feel from other people. Even though they might not be voicing it at the time, they might be eating dinner. But if you do something that is unacceptable socially, those people will jump on you immediately and say something. Why did you do that? Why did you do this? You should be doing this. You know that's there lurking around the corner. That's what drives your behavior right now. There is conditioning from feminism that conditions you to be a total fucking faggot. You will put women on pedestals. You'll bow down to women. You'll defer to women. You'll be a passive guy, apologetic. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. Oh, I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for that. You'll apologize for your expectations. Why? Because you feel dysfunctional social pressure. You feel disorderly social pressure. You feel the effects of bad social pressure. Manhood Academy is here to teach you how to wield social pressure. Do you realize that? You can influence the social atmosphere around you. When you post, when you speak in the chat room, when you type in the chat room, when you interact with other students, when you make a good EM report, when you go the extra mile to do the EM reports properly, you space out the speakers, you bold the speakers' names, you analyze according to the ebook, you take the time to read the ebook, you set a standard for Manhood Academy posters. Future posters look at the good word you received. Oh, you did a good job. Professor Plum congratulated you. He made a little picture for you. You're a cool bro. Guess what? Now they feel social pressure not to fuck up. That's good. But it's also bad if that social pressure paralyzes them. They need to snap the fuck out of it and say, look, I realize I'm going to fuck up. I'm not going to be as great as Paperclip. I'm not going to be as great as Zyga. My posts aren't going to be as insightful as Boke's. I'm not going to be as thoroughly trained in the concepts as Bogler. But I can post. I can take an active hand in influencing my social interactions by learning how to post, to give my response, my candid response to the things being posted here. My candid expression is coming out, and now I'm inciting other people. I'm creating social pressure. Instead of being the one who's the victim of pressure, you need to be the one who's wielding the pressure. I am one person at the academy. There are more students than there are instructors. But let me ask you a question. Who is wielding the social pressure around this academy? You or me? Why? You students outnumber me 100-1. Why am I the one dictating the tone? Everything is done according to one man's expectations, according to an instructor's expectations on this forum versus 100 students. Why? Why am I creating the social pressure? Am I special? Do I have a cape on? Fuck no. I have training. That's the only thing that separates you and me. We both know the same things. We both have access to the ebook. You now have access to my brain. That is the ebook right there. You have access to Dr. Ladice's brain. It's in the ebook. So we all have the same information. The only difference between you and me is training. You know it in theory. You know, this is a good idea to state my expectations and to enforce them by punishing people when they don't agree, to disapprove of them, and to reward them when they do agree, to give them a hug, a high five, a pat, a nice fondle on their boob, whatever, right? You know the same things I know now. The only difference is I have training. I practiced enforcing my expectations, and I've seen the results. I've seen the long-term results time and time again. The results verify what I've learned. Ah, this works. Oh, this doesn't work. I see why. I have actual experience to back it up. Now when I do it in a new situation with a new person, with a new student, I don't even have to guess. I know what's going to happen, even though this is the first time I've met them. Why? Because I have training. And because I have training, guess what? I'm the one influencing the academy, the direction of the academy. I'm the one creating the social pressure. I don't feel social pressure from you guys. I create social pressure for you guys. Do you realize that? One guy creates all the social pressure at this academy. Or the big bulk of it, the majority of it, right? I don't feel pressure from you guys. I feel like, oh, what is Bo going to say about me? What is Death by Porn going to say about me? Is Vic going to lash out and not like my correction? What is Bogler going to do when I keep ridiculing him? Is he going to strike out, lash out at me? What's going to happen? I don't know. I do know. It's in the ebook, and you know too. That's the ironic thing. It's just that you don't have the training to realize it. You just know it on paper. You don't have the training to realize it. This is the time to get fucking trained. This is the time. Right now, you have the opportunity at this academy to train yourself. Everybody here is working to train themselves. Everybody out in the world right now is not there to care about your social interaction training. They don't give a flying fuck about that. They care about getting their needs met, and that's about it, because they don't have a view to social interaction. At this academy, all the students, at the bare minimum, know why they're here. Or if they don't, I'm making that known. And guess what? I am the overriding voice here over all the students. Yes, all the students come up with various degrees of dysfunction, and they're fucked up in various ways, but guess what? I am the overriding vote here. I outvote everybody. So you have nothing to worry about. If another student is like, hey, fuck that, bro, I'm the bro here. No. Professor Plum is the only bro cheese here that exists for you. If I say something, it goes. If I say something doesn't go, it doesn't go. I don't care how many fucking students say it. I will kick every motherfucker out of here, and it'll just be you and me. One student, Professor Plum teaching one student who follows the directions. That's it. That's how well-versed I am at getting my expectations met. I'm willing to kick all students out of here. Do you realize that? I know that sounds insane, but that's how well I know how to get my expectations met. That's how important I know it is to maintain my authority. If 10 students right now were to fucking mutiny and go, hey, you know what? You're just not being fair. We're going to do things our way in this academy. Okay, we're just not going to listen to you. Guess what? All 10 of you students, bye-bye. You're gone. I just would, even if you were Bogler, you're one of my favorite buddies. I like Bogler. I have a great relationship. Well, I don't know if it's super great, but I like Bogler. Let me put it this way. I like Bogler. I've known him for quite a number of years now. He's the worst student at Manhood Academy. I have no problem saying that, even to his face. He knows it. But because I'm honest with him in our relationship, we have a great relationship. Put it that way. But I will not hesitate. If suddenly Bogler mutinies and takes like 5 students with him and says, Bog, I know more than you. I'm going to start my own academy. Great. Get the fuck out. I will kick Bogler out. No problem. Not because I want to. You gotta understand this. Not because I want to. It would pain me because I like Bogler. So getting rid of him would be like getting rid of somebody I really enjoyed, like getting rid of your favorite dog or your parents, right? But I realize because of how social interaction works, I realize that it's so crucial to maintain the integrity of my authority. If I let Bogler run crazy all over this forum and post whatever the fuck he wants and undermine my authority, guess what? All the students are eventually going to fuck up too, along with him. Because I foresee that, I realize it's a necessity to maintain the integrity of my authority, even at the cost of our friendship. Yes, even at the cost of our student relationship. It's going to be painful. I have to say, Bogler, bye-bye, fucko. I might be very explicit about it and short with him in the forum and say, look, you're gone. But inside I'm going to be hurting because that's a dear friendship to me. Of course, I'm not going to focus on how he affects me because, again, we already know from social interaction, when you're getting your expectations met, you're not supposed to focus on how somebody is emotionally affecting you because that is not conducive to enforcing your expectation. So I'm going to focus all on the pain, all on the punishment. I'm going to say, students who are violating my expectations here at the academy, get the fuck out. Tits or get the fuck out, right? Meet my expectations, show your tits, or get the fuck out of the academy, right? So, because I have experience and I see the necessity for maintaining my expectations, I'm ready to cut off all the heads here, to be the dictator if necessary. Or I should say, when necessary. And there are times when I have to cut off heads here because people are not following my expectations. And I realize these expectations are to help you. These expectations are for your benefit. That's why I have to enforce them. If we enforce your expectations, this academy would go to hell. It would go to shit. It would just turn into complete diarrhea. So it's necessary for me to enforce my functional expectations. I forgot where I started going on this tangent here. Let's bring it back. So the point is, what is the point? There are many points I'm trying to make at once. You need to be the one learning how to create social pressure here. This is the laboratory where you learn how to influence others, where you learn how to build peer relationships. You realize when you're giving people rewards, you also create social pressure, not just punishing people. Punishing people definitely creates social pressure. When I punish one student, it creates social pressure for other students to step in the line, to fall in the line, to realize that they shouldn't be violating my expectations because they'll reap the same punishment if they do. So it behooves them to learn how to not fuck up, how to follow their directions, right? That's part of why I'm correcting students openly in public. It sets the precedent for other students. It lets them know that I'm serious and I mean business about getting my expectations met at this academy. But you guys are very familiar with punishment, but guess what? You need to be also just as familiar with with the reward. Professor Plum needs to encourage students to post. He needs to encourage them to keep going forward. He needs to reward their progress. This is just as important as punishing their dysfunctional behavior. Now, a lot of you are experiencing the punishment side because there are so many ways to fuck up, but there's only one right way to get it right. There's one right way to get it right. There are many, many, many infinite degrees of dysfunction and one proper right way to do things, one degree of function. So it's tough to get rewarded here at the academy, but it's very easy to get punished here at the academy. Don't worry about that. That's part of the experience here at the academy. But it makes the reward that much sweeter. It makes Professor Plum's joy that much juicier when you receive it. Part of your social interaction training is learning how to reward other people with your attention, with your responses, with your expression, with your posts. Any attention you pay to other people's expression posts, that's a reward. You need to reward people with pleasurable incentive. When you post an expression post, some of these posts are amazing. You know, in the beginning, some of these students were rewarding me, or I should say punishing me with posts about food. I like pizza. Well, this is great because they're learning how to express their experience of something. So in the beginning, they might have said, pizza's good, pizza's great, which is a very generic expression. It doesn't convey their experience. It just conveys dead, lifeless, static information. Pizza is great, great. I don't need you to know that. I could Google pizza and it'll say somewhere pizza is tasty. But when I hear your personal experience of pizza, eating this pizza is delicious. It reminds me of a dear friend, devouring a dear friend in a suit and tie. He's looking so snazzy, but yet he looks so delicious I just have to eat him. Okay, that's starting to sound like a gay experience, but the point is, you're injecting your personal reaction into eating this pizza, into eating this food. Now, in the beginning, you guys were so carried away with this, or I don't know if you were just carried away, you were just practicing, but it seemed like there were a lot of food entries, and I could care less about food entries. But the good news was you're graduating from saying, this pizza is good, to giving me your long, detailed, personal reaction to eating that pizza. That is better. Eventually, you graduate to giving me your personal reactions to people, to your daily experiences, to your daily lives. And now you've created these engrossing, rewarding, pleasurable posts to read. Do you realize this is pleasurable incentive to want to interact with you? When I see how you think, how you react to things, this is cool. I like the way you write. I like the way you express yourself. This makes me want to interact with you further. I see you're a bright person. I see you're an intelligent person. I see you take time to think about things. Bogler. When Bogler first wrote in his expression blog, it was fucking mind-numbing. He would write about yogurt every day of the week, and it was fucking hell to read. I would want to shoot myself. I would want to put a shotgun in my mouth rather than read his expression posts. But now his expression posts have come such a long way. They're so enjoyable to read. I'm like, cool, it's a Bogler expression post. Whereas before I'd be, fuck, it's a Bogler expression post. Right? This shows a lot of growth in his social interaction that shows he's becoming more thoughtful, more considerate of his surroundings, of his interactions. Before he'd be like, I don't think about things. I just do them. I would not think about the reaction. This is strange to me. Well, that didn't make me want to interact with him. That made me think this guy's a retarded Indian. I don't care about interacting with him. I don't want to interact with him. Just go through the academy, do your thing, learn how to become social with people of your intelligence level, and you'll socialize with them, and I won't have to deal with you. Great. That's what I thought about Bogler coming into the academy. But because Bogler has trained and trained and trained and trained, Guess what? Now he's able to provide a pleasurable experience to me. He's actually funny. Even though he's still as annoying as fuck, where he doesn't understand American idioms, and that's just part of the culture. He grew up in sheltered Indian culture, and he understands nothing about American humor, sarcasm, whatever, etc. All our dysfunctional forms of communication. That's fine. But when he's not being a complete fag, he can be very stimulating. His reactions that he gives you to things, he has a very subtle Indian sense of humor. I mean, it's just a joy to be around. This is part of his social interaction training. I never would have thought that this would be in Bogler, but now I'm impressed. I'm taken by surprise, right? Wow, this is in Bogler. Bogler can be an enjoyable person to be around. This is a lot of like you guys, your experience out there. You're not fun to be around right now in the condition you're in because you have poor social interaction training. Guess what? You're Bogler 2 years ago. Keep training. Keep training. Keep training. Repetition will improve your social interactions. But you need to initiate. I can't stress this enough. You need to fucking get off your ass. Get out from behind your pillow. I know some of you are so fucking scared to death of your first post. What is Plum going to say to me? I don't know. I'm not prepared for it. These words are going to be so harsh. This is what I think of you. I'm going to kill the suspense. I think you're an idiot. I think you're a retard. I think you're a loser. I think you're a nerd. I think you're a douchebag. Whatever worst nightmare you have about what I think about you, it's fulfilled already. I already think that about you. So now that that's out of the way, that's on the table, the cards are on the table, post anyway. Initiate. Practice initiating. I will always think of you as Bogler when you first joined this academy. There are no competent people joining this academy. If you think you are competent or you are hiding your incompetence, you're an idiot. When you join this academy, your joining lets me know that you are an idiot. You are a social idiot. You are socially ignorant. I agree to that. If you are the only one who's not agreeing to that. I have already agreed to that. I've already accepted that fact that you're an idiot. Stop trying to prove to me how competent you are, how smart you are, how cool you are. I don't care. I don't give a flying fuck. You're a student here. You're a slug to me. You're here to improve your social interactions. So you need to learn how to do that. That means to train, to take the necessary steps to achieve that. Hiding behind your pillow or editing your post a billion times and then deleting your post because it's too stupid to post is not the way to achieve that. Being too scared of my reaction to your post is not the way to achieve that. Initiating is the way to achieve that. Taking the step to influence your social interactions here, to create relationships here with other students. That is how you train. You know, you guys always complain, oh, I'm out in the boonies, or I don't know anybody, or I don't know any students. You know, some of you have become more resourceful. You've talked to friends, you've talked to relatives, you've talked to neighbors, you've talked to whoever, you've gotten other people to join the academy. Great, now you have somebody to train with. That is super. That is the perfect situation to have a buddy to train with. But guess what? If you're stuck, you still have no excuse because you have an entire academy full of students here online that you can train with. You don't have a relationship? Great, build one here on the academy. You're looking for a social circle, there's nobody else in your town, there's a population of 10, and 9 of them are your relatives. Great, you still have the academy, you have no excuse. You can develop social relationships here at the academy. Do you realize this academy could be fun to come to each day if you were not socially retarded? If everybody here was like Professor Plum, this academy would be jumping. You would enjoy coming here. It would be like any other message board or any other forum that you like coming to and like reading. Anything where there's funny content. That could be you. That could be this group right here. That could be Manhood Academy. But guess what? You have to initiate that. Stop being a fucking faggot and sitting back and expecting somebody else to do it. Forget about expecting somebody else. This academy exists because it's here to train you to realize that you're the only one here. There's nobody else at this academy. There's just Professor Plum and you. You are all the content at the academy. You are all the other part of the academy. You have to stimulate Professor Plum by following the directions. You, only you, there's no other student here to depend upon to build the academy. You have to do it. That is your attitude you have to bring here to the academy. I have to do it. I have to initiate it. Not, oh, Zyger, he's been here longer. Bogler, he's been here longer. He's used to getting punished. He should do it. Boke, he's been posting a lot. He should do it. Death by Porn, he has more experience talking. He seems like a blabbermouth. He should do it. No, you fuckface. You need to do it. You are the one I expect to initiate. You, the guy who's posted one post over 12 months of non-posting. You are the one who has to take the initiative to develop your relationships here with students. Start responding. The simplest thing you can do is just respond to posts. Start responding. That will build a relationship. Some of you will be less fearful and start venturing out and start chatting in the chat room. Yes, you'll be whiny little bitches in the beginning. Fine. Accept it. Fine, you'll break the chat room rules. I won't like it. I'll still bitch at you for breaking them, but I know you're going to break them because you're fucking retarded. You don't have any social skills. You don't have any, which means you also don't have any listening skills. I accept that already. If you're going to break the chat room rules, at least break them and go forward. At least break them and try to maintain, or I should say, try to create relationships with your fellow students. Use the academy to your advantage. Initiate social interactions. Start talking to people. Do you see how far Zyger has come? He's made a schedule. He's sharing his daily schedule. He's not even competent yet. Half of his social interactions are just him justifying himself like a fag. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't do that because of this, and this, and this. Do you realize his social interactions in person are fails most of the time? But yet, his experience here at Manhood Academy is a win because he's making posts. He's stimulating the other students. He's encouraging them to go forward even though his realized social interactions could be considered fails. But because he's taking the active step to train, he will get there eventually. This should be your attitude, to contribute to Manhood Academy, not to think, how can I piggyback off of everybody else's work? How can I learn passively in the dark? How can I be the student at the back of the classroom and not raise my hand? That should not be you. There's no back row in Manhood Academy. You are all front row, and I am pointing on everybody. There's no point in raising your hand because you're going to be called on. Every single fucking time in class, you are going to be called on. And I'm looking for students who haven't posted, who haven't been called on, who are timid fucks. You are the ones I care about. You are the ones who I want to post. You timid fucks out there who never post. Filbert, balls on chin, you never post. I want you to post. You fucks who never post, you are the ones who I'm keeping my eyeballs on. Not guys like Zyger who are posting every day. I like that he posts every day, but my eyes are not on him. My eyes are on you other fucktards who are not posting. You are the ones that are holding Manhood Academy back. Do you realize Manhood Academy depends on you? The growth of this academy, the enjoyment of coming to this academy depends on you. The more you post, the more people want to post. You always whine, oh my god, nobody wants to be my buddy. Guess why nobody wants to be your buddy? Because you're not fucking posting. If you posted more often, do you realize people would see that and go, oh, something's happening at Manhood Academy. There's people posting. I want to see what's happening. I want to join. I want to learn how to post. I want to learn how to make buddies. Because you're posting, do you realize you're contributing? You're putting another weight on the scale that determines whether a person wants to join up or not at this academy. You're putting another weight on the scale that determines whether people want to talk to you or not at this academy, whether they want to interact with you or not. Every single post you post adds up and says whether they want to talk to you or not, whether they want to be your buddy or not, whether they want to interact with you or not, whether they're attracted to you or not. Every response you make is cumulative. Maybe they don't respond after one post. Maybe everybody ignores your first post. Keep posting. Keep training. Doing one set of curls in the gym isn't going to give you Arnold Schwarzenegger muscles. You got to keep curling. You got to keep going back. You got to keep exercising. One run around your neighborhood isn't going to keep you in good shape. You have to make it a habit. Being active has to be part of your life. Socializing has to be part of your life. It has to become a daily training habit, whether you feel like it or not, whether you feel like posting or not, whether you feel like interacting or not. Stop being a little bitch. Stop worrying about whether you feel like posting. Post anyway. Make your expectation, I need to post. I need to respond. I need to practice. That should be your expectation. So then when you wake up with your teddy bear and you're like, I don't feel like posting today. It's cloudy outside. I don't feel like posting today. My parents abandoned me. I don't feel like posting today because a girl said something mean to me and I just don't feel like it. You'll be able to say, yes, I don't feel like it because I'm a little bitch, but because I'm a man, I'm going to do it in spite of how I feel today. I feel like a lazy fuck. I just had a 12-hour marathon porn session. I have no more lube left in this jar. I have downloaded every single YouPorn video in existence. My hard drive is full. I have played every single fucking Xbox game on the planet, and I know every level by heart, and I'm too depressed now to even post. But guess what? I'm going to post anyway because I'm a man. I have a will that tells my feelings to shut their cunt. Your will says, shut your cunt. Shut your whiny little bitchy cunt and post anyway. That's what your will says. You're building your will here at Manhood Academy. You're becoming a man by exercising your authority to get your expectations met. to develop your social relationships here so you can get your needs met. If you can get your needs met socially here at Manhood Academy, you are a man. Forget that statement. I don't want to make light of masculinity. I don't want to make light of your authority. If you can get your needs met here, you are socially competent. That is your goal here at Manhood Academy, to become socially competent. Your masculinity is just learning how to exercise your authority, learning how to punish and reward so you can get your expectations met. You are learning how to become an active participant in getting your needs met, in getting your expectations met, which are based on your needs. You guys that have questions about what are my expectations? Well, what are your needs? You're hungry. You're lonely. You're tired. You need rest. You need food. You need friendship. You need love. Those are your needs. So guess what? Those are your expectations. What are your expectations? Exactly what your needs are. If you're lonely, your expectation is to get a girlfriend. If you're hungry, your expectation is to go to work, to earn money, to buy food, or to plant seeds, to raise crops, to grow food. If your expectation is to not, or if your need is to, your needs are all the same, so it's not like your needs are optional. Zyger's needs are the same as Bogler's needs. Your needs are to maintain your authority, which means your expectation should be that people under your authority fear your authority, or people that want some of your resources, that want some of your provision. If somebody wants something from you, if they want your attention, if they want your affection, if they want you to buy them something, they want you to make them something, they want you to do something for them, then guess what? They need to fear your authority. They need to show you respect. That is your expectation. You have it right there in a nutshell. If they want something from you, then you want something from them. That is your expectation, because that builds a relationship. I want food from you. So guess what? I can't just take a dump in your mouth. If I come into your restaurant, I can't just go, here, sir, open your mouth, I'm going to take a dump in it, because I want food from you. If you are so dysfunctional, you will let me take a dump in your mouth and give me the food anyway. But because you're functional, you will go, no, Professor Plum, you're not allowed to take a dump in my mouth. That is violating my expectation. I expect you to give me money. I expect you to make this a reciprocal relationship. So I want your cash. That meets my business need. I want your cash, and in turn, I'm going to give you some food. I'm going to feed you. This is going to be a reciprocal relationship that's going to make us both happy. It's going to meet both our needs. Do you see that? Some of you guys go, I don't know what my expectations are. Praxis or whoever the new student was, I don't know what my expectations are. Read the ebook. It will tell you exactly what your expectations should be. Your expectations are based on your needs. Find out what are your needs, write them down, then write your expectations based on those needs. Look at the expectation post. A lot of you are whining like little bitches, the new students I'm saying mostly, because you haven't read anything. You're just a panic. You're a little bitch. You're used to being a little bitch. I don't know what to do. I'm just here. I don't know what to do. Help me. I'm a victim. Help me. Shut the fuck up. Stop acting like a little bitch and start reading. These posts are here to help you. They're not here to help you whine louder. If you whine like a little bitch, people do not want to interact with you. It's great that you have questions, but your questions should not be based on you being a professional victim. They should be based on you wanting to know something, you wanting to learn something. And if you haven't taken the active step to do that already, if you haven't read a post, if you haven't read the ebook, people should slap you upside the head when you ask a question. You should have already read the ebook before you even ask a question. You should read all the sticky posts before you ask a question. Then you deserve an answer to your question. It may be a stupid question, but you still deserve an answer. But if you haven't done anything and you expect everybody to hold your hand around here, you don't want to read any of the posts, you don't want to read the ebook, you just want to take the shortcut to everything. Just give me help. I'm so helpless. I'm a little baby I need a bottle and a blanket. Fuck you. Drown. Die. Suffer. Do the work. You're here to learn how to work. You were a little bitch in your former life. You're reborn hard here. You're born again. You're born again hard. You have a new life here. It's a new chance, new start, right? New beginnings. It's a new beginning for you at Manhood Academy. You're no longer a passive fag in a crib crying and whining because you don't know what to do. You have posts in an ebook at Manhood Academy. That's your new theme song. I just made that for you. You have no excuse now. If you want to complain, you want to ask questions after you've read some posts, after you've read the entire ebook, great. Be my guest. Have at it. We are here to socialize. Yes, you will not understand all the concepts. They will take some explaining, even ones that are fairly simple, because you don't have any experience or any training. Those concepts won't make sense to you, even though they will seem very simple to students or to me who have experience. We'll take that into account, and we'll try to answer as best we can. And we'll answer repeatedly the same questions over and over. The same questions will come up. And even some of you will violate the rules and ask questions that would be easily answerable if you had just read a post or if you had just read the ebook. You would have that answer. We will remind you to go to the ebook to read that, or where it's at in the ebook. Or we'll remind you to look at a post. It's going to happen. You're going to fuck up. It's granted. But keep going forward. Don't be a passive victim. Don't wait for everybody else to do everything for you. Start learning how to initiate right now. Start learning how to get your expectations met right now. Take an active hand in shaping your social interactions here at Manhood Academy. Make it the academy you want. You're looking for a social group? Make it the social group that you want, that meets your needs. At Manhood Academy,